does depend on the result here. And as I say, the crowd are in buoyant mood. We're really looking forward to this one. And as the players get ready to take their place on the pitch, the final pre-match huddles and handshakes and fist bumps, I'm going to hand you over to our commentary team today, who are the former West Ham, Norwich and England striker Dean Ashton. But first, Talksport's chief football commentator Sam Matterface.
Thanks, Reshmin. Welcome to the London Stadium, which sits in the middle of the fantastic Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park, with its swanky duplex apartments, retail outlets, green spaces and well-beating sports facilities. Welcome to a big London derby of East versus West, a derby fueled by historic geographical, economic and cultural differences. Back in the day, East End was work and West End was play. East was duckers and divers, West was private clubs and fine dining. But driving from one side of London to the other this morning, from Chelsea down Knightsbridge through Theatreland out to the city's financial hub, past trendy Shoreditch and the colossal Canary Wharf, you're reminded that this mega city is a melting pot of style and substance. Both West Ham and Chelsea have rediscovered a little bit of substance in the last few weeks, but the style bit still needs a bit of work. West Ham took 1 point from a possible 21 before they beat Everton. Chelsea have won just 2 of their last 12 Premier League matches. And although they've stopped conceding, they have scored just 2 goals in 6 games. Before we start, in line with the No Room for Racism campaign, the players take the knee and then get us off and underway, with West Ham in claret shirts and white shorts attacking the goal away to our right, and Chelsea in gold shirts and shorts and white socks. It might be light blue shorts for West Ham today. They're attacking the goal away to our left-hand side. Dean Ashton is alongside me. He was minutes from winning an FA Cup where the Hammers played for England and scored 111 goals in 279 English career appearances. How do these two buck the trend and give us a goal fest today?
Well, I think it's in the approach to the game. I think it's how brave certainly West Ham need to be, as Mudryk's on the ball already.
And running towards the West Ham goal, he's fouled from behind by Thilo Kehrer, who was an injury concern prior to the game, and the free kick is given to Chelsea just outside the D, a shade left of centre.
Yeah, lovely from Mudryk. João Felix with a lovely flick over the top of Thilo Kehrer, and then Mudryk does the right thing. He sees Kehrer wanting to challenge, so just cuts right across him, and Kehrer basically can't get out of the way. In a really good position this for Chelsea, and Reece James and Enzo Fernandez are over it at the moment.
West Ham 0, Chelsea 0, 1 minute gone. You're live on Talksport. Later on today we've got Leicester against Tottenham in the Premier League. Monday night, a second big derby of the weekend. We take you to the Merseyside derby, Liverpool against Everton. That's only on Talksport. But first, London is calling. It's the clash of the day, West Ham against Chelsea, and an early opportunity for Chelsea to make an impact. Reece James standing over the ball. Enzo Fernandez just left of it as well. It will be Reece James who I think is going to take this. It's about 25 yards from goal. He steps up right-footed, curls it towards the far corner. It's the goalkeeper's side, an easy catch for Lucas Fabianski.
Yeah, catching practice for Fabianski. That's not there. What a kick.
Massive kick upfield towards Antonio. Bullies Cucurella off the ball, right by the corner of the penalty area. Shoves him away, not once but twice, then bounds towards the edge of the box, loses control of the ball, and then James will bring it clear, and then Enzo Fernandez kicks the ball straight at one of the West Ham players. It goes back into their own penalty area, Chelsea, and then Kepa Arrizabalaga has to clear. He clips it out towards this near side. It's been a fast start, and if I wanted a recipe for a goal fest, then maybe this is the way it needs to go.
Well, I haven't been able to explain what you meant to do to score the goals, but I think you could even just hear that. As soon as Thiago Silva got the ball and went to play it back to Kepa, you could hear this West Ham support. They want, especially at home, they want their team to be positive and higher up the pitch. Okay, you might take a few risks with your back line, but the only way you're then going to put pressure on the opposition is to be high and press a bit more.
João Felix, Mudryk and Enzo Fernandez combine to get the away team up the pitch. 0-0 the score after 3 minutes. You're listening to Talksport. A yard in from the right touchline. Noni Madueke comes infield. He loves to hug that right touchline and come in on his left foot and get shots away. The former PSV forward, he cost £30 million, another one of the big acquisitions in the January transfer window. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's been at the club for eons, playing in midfield, touches the ball back on halfway into the captain of the day, Thiago Silva. Up to Loftus-Cheek, who bounds into the box. He goes past 2 defenders, tries to square it, and then couldn't get enough contact with the ball as he got to the byline. A really good aggressive Chelsea move. He went running down that right-hand side, burst between both Aguerd and Declan Rice, and just couldn't squeeze the ball back into a dangerous position.
I mean, already... Oh, great ball.
Here comes Bowen down the right-hand side, offside flag is up. Every time you go to start talking, an attack develops. It has been that sort of start to the game.
It's brilliant.
4 minutes in.
Absolutely brilliant for both of the sides. João Felix has been picking up some brilliant positions. He just keeps looking at the shoulder of Paquetá and Declan Rice, just making sure that he's picking up a position that he almost can't be seen. It was a lovely turn from him and played Loftus-Cheek in. He just couldn't quite get out of his feet to play that cross early enough. But João Felix, I love the positions he's picking up so far, and he's on the ball now. 17th versus 9th, that was what it was like in the early 90s when these two used to meet in the Premier League. Hasn't been like it recently. And remember, Chelsea haven't won on their travels in the Premier League since they beat Aston Villa on the 16th of October. It's a run of 6 matches. And West Ham have won just 1 of their last 5 home matches, and that was against Everton. Here is Havertz inside the area from a right-wing cross, which is cleared by Paquetá, who squeezes through a tight gap, then is blocked by Noni Madueke, who came back from that attack to try and help out his defence, gave away a free kick, and it's with West Ham deep inside their own territory. 0-0. That's one thing they have done, Chelsea, certainly under Graham Potter, is they've been excellent out of possession. Only Leeds are quicker to press than Chelsea, and you could see there, as soon as they lost it, every player looking to get into a position and look to press, and maybe an issue here for Paquetá.
Yeah, he's gone down, and he, I think, has hurt his shoulder, which is a real problem, because he's being attended to by the West Ham United medical staff, and it will be interesting to see how that midfield operates today. Lucas Paquetá has started as a 10 in David Moyes' team and got 2 goals and 2 assists during the first part of his career, but he's moved back to playing alongside Declan Rice in the 8 position, and he scored last week from open play, and I think he sort of was the more advanced of the two. They both like to make long darts from deep into opponent's box, but because they're playing the back 3, they're capable of just having one deeper line midfield player, and Paquetá can sort of play as almost a box-to-box player and get further up the pitch.
Yeah, you're right. Just that change of system has given certainly Declan Rice that little bit of insurance that he knows he can let Paquetá go and attack and join the front line, knowing that he can patrol that area with the extra defender behind him. But he really did sort of, as he went down, landed right on the shoulder with quite a bit of force in between 2 players, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to continue. And
I almost felt as if Madueke sort of landed on top of him a little bit as well.
It wouldn't surprise me if it's a collarbone issue. You know, that just the way he went down on that shoulder.
West Ham have had so many problems with injuries. Scamacca picking up a recent injury as well, which has been a real problem. Aguerd was out for so long at the beginning of the campaign. Ogbono only just coming back to full fitness after his ACL last season. And, it's a real disappointment in 2 ways here if we were to lose Paquetá. One, because he's been a bright player for West Ham United, but also because we've punctuated what has been a very bright start to this encounter between these 2 teams. West Ham 0, Chelsea 0, live on Talksport. And we're here with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. Remember, Monday morning, no Laura Woods on Monday morning, because she's in Arizona for the Super Bowl, right? Which means we've asked Alan Brazil to do 5 days.
Has he not sworn a...
What's the odds on him getting through all 5?
Have they not tried to make him sworn an oath that he will definitely be there for the 5 days?
He will be. So Alan will be back on breakfast 5 days next week, 6 till 10, looking back at all the weekend's footballing action. And if you wake up in the morning and want a bit of music instead, then Chris Evans is over on Virgin Radio. That's from 6:30 every single morning. And if you want to listen to Virgin Radio, it's on DAB, but also via the Virgin Radio app. The TalkSport app might be required this afternoon. We've got live commentaries and round the grounds a little bit later on. And you want to keep up with all the football with Adrian Durham, whilst Leicester Tottenham is on Talksport 2. We're back underway at last, and Paquetá seems to be able to continue, although that right arm isn't moving particularly freely. And a lot of people will say, yeah, but it's only an arm, he doesn't really use that, but it's essential when you're running and moving, isn't it, and trying to hold players off.
Well, especially if there is some damage in there as well, but obviously brave to carry on, at least for now.
Enzo Fernandez sweeps the ball out towards the far side. Chelsea in the midpoint of their own half. James releasing the ball well, and João Felix is in behind after it's missed by the defence. He chips it over the goalkeeper, hits the post, comes back to him, tapping. The offside flag has gone up to rule out the goal, suggesting that will not count. But what on earth happened to the West Ham defence? It seemed to part like the Red Sea.
Well, he just makes the run right between two of the centre-backs, Agard and Ogbonna, and it's going to be very, very close that they'll be looking at. But by the way, the finish. He just went to fake as if he was going to side foot it and then just lifted it over Fabianski. Lucky that it hit the post and came back.
It hit the post though.
But come on.
Hit the post, came out, and then he tapped it home. But it is offside. It has been disallowed, and it will be a free kick on the edge of the penalty area. But that just, I think, highlights just how well he started the game and how well he's actually started his Chelsea career, because he was brilliant for 60 minutes when we were at Craven Cottage that night against Fulham before he lunged in and got sent off. And he's had a bright start to this game too. 10 minutes play plus the big stoppage that we had for the Paquetá incident, and it's West Ham 0, Chelsea 0 live on Talksport. The ball in the centre of the park now. Loftus-Cheek goes down after a collision with Antonio, whose challenge on him was late. It's a free kick to Chelsea, just right of the centre circle. It's a murky grey day here in East London, in Stratford, at the Olympic Stadium as it was, now the London Stadium, with the pitch surrounded by the claret carpet. It's got a bit more of a football feel about it now, this stadium. West Ham have done their best to decorate it and bring it all in closely and try and fill some of the huge swathes of gaps that have sometimes sucked the atmosphere up. But it is a very loud stadium. Half of that's to do with the ridiculous PA that they've got, but also because they've tried to get the atmosphere going in here. Here's João Felix down the left, poking the ball square. It's loose in midfield, and inside his own half, Declan Rice will pick it up, play it forward, but Baliashile will get there ahead of Antonio, and Chelsea turn it over again. And Chelsea have pretty much dominated the ball so far in this game. Ball played out towards the right-hand side. It's collected by Noni Madueke, who moves up towards the right angle of the penalty area, gives it back to Reece James. Good to see him back playing football again, and Chelsea controlling the ball inside West Ham territory.
Chelsea have been excellent. They've kept the ball really, really well, but no surprise. I mean, they're third for average possession in the Premier League, and West Ham allow the opposition plenty of the ball, and they're sat so deep already, West Ham.
Enzo Fernandez works it wide. Madueke moves up towards the angle of the penalty area. He's been playing his football in the Eredivisie. He had a bit of an ankle injury at the beginning of the season and then got back into the PSV team. He was very good last season. And born in Barnet, and England under-21 international too. Here is James dawdling on the ball, and Emerson Palmieri, once of Chelsea, nips in, causes them a problem, and it goes out over on the far side, and it's away for a throw-in. How's Paquetá dealing with that shoulder, do you think?
You can still tell that it's bothering him. He keeps flexing the arm and flexing the neck, and so far actually he's got nowhere near João Felix. João Felix has just, even a second ago, got the ball, a little shimmy away from Paquetá. They can't afford to carry a player, West Ham.
João Felix, who's dropped a little bit deeper and then gone out wide to the left. He's found Cucurella, whose ball into the box is dreadful. Cleared away, but Mudryk wins it back, and then Enzo Fernandez snaps into a tackle, then shoots towards the far corner. I wasn't too far away from Enzo Fernandez, who saw it open up in front of him. It was a very similar position from which he scored against Mexico, when he just charged in on his right foot and tried to bend it into the corner. But it's out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side, and Paquetá now has gone down, and I don't think he is going to be able to continue.
No, I mean, he's not moving freely enough, and that ball that Declan Rice played into him, all of a sudden there was 3 Chelsea shirts surrounding him, lost possession, and it was a poor effort actually from Fernandez. Didn't get any curl on that attempt to the far corner, and as we expected, Paquetá his afternoon is finished already, which is a real shame after scoring last week against Newcastle.
Tell me about the difference in what it's going to do to that midfield dynamic with Rice and Souček, whose partnership sort of has got a bit tired, hasn't it?
It has, but I just wonder whether the change of system, and you say to Thomas Souček, go and do what you were doing so well when you were in that great run of form when you joined the club. You know, bursting from midfield to support Antonio, getting in the box when the ball was wide, and then getting back into position to defend. Let's see if that is the case, or whether they go back to how they have been playing, which is very flat, the two of them.
14 gone, and an early substitution, and straight down the tunnel for Lucas Paquetá. Not a great sight, and we wish him all the very best. West Ham United 0, Chelsea 0. And West Ham's upturn has given David Moyes space to breathe a little bit, but it will become very claustrophobic very quickly if they don't back that up with more consistent run of results. 4 points from the last 2 matches was as many as they picked up in the previous 9, and they would love to get something from this game. Declan Rice heads it back from the centre circle towards Ogbonna, who guides it to goalkeeper Fabianski. He clips clear towards the left. Emerson Palmieri trying to head it onto Ben Rama, but the Algerian can't reach it. Thiago Silva has just signed a new 1-year contract at Chelsea to keep him at the club till 2024. I think he's going to be 47 by the time it expires. He's the oldest player in the Premier League this season, 38 years of age. And he's played more minutes than any other Chelsea player.
And he's probably been one of the best as well, which just shows what level he's at. I mean, wonderful player.
Ball out of play over on the far side. And tossed in towards Declan Rice, shoved off by Madueke.
Just to mention, if you're 21 years old, Badiashile, what a joy it must be to play alongside Thiago Silva. Learn from him, be organised by him. Brilliant.
Well, what a joy it is to play alongside Badiashile, because whilst he's been on the the pitch, Chelsea haven't conceded a goal. Cucurella. Infield it goes to Enzo Fernandez. He travels into the midpoint of the West Ham half and then hands it off towards the right, collected by Thiago Silva, worked further wide. Madueke skips away from one challenge, gets away from another, runs up to Rice and then hands it on towards Cucurella. Mudryk now got a chance to try and take on Soufal, then manages to keep hold of the ball, but he left something on Jared Bowen. The ball goes out on the left hand side and Bowen's gone down. Chelsea are playing on, and Enzo Fernandez has picked it up edge of the area, clipped it towards the far post. There's João Felix, and this time he's not offside, and Chelsea do take the lead. Terrific ball from Enzo Fernandez towards the far post, and João Felix, 7 yards out, gets his first Chelsea goal. And Chelsea finally have one to celebrate. West Ham United 0, Chelsea 1.
Well, he's been the best player on the pitch, João Felix, and he gets his goal because he just keeps drifting off the back of the midfield players. The back three don't know whether to come out of their position and mark him. He just drifts into a lovely position between the midfield and defence, makes a really late run, and Enzo Fernandez doesn't really look, just has a quick glance and then feeds it into an area. It's a brilliantly timed run from João Felix. Nobody's watching. Agard's got no idea where he's run in behind him. He's got the simplest of tasks, just to side foot it past Fabianski from 6 yards out. And having sat and watched 3 games, I'm sure desperate to get back, he's already shown what quality he's got.
Is there any controversy about a foul in the build-up to that, where Bowen goes down under pressure from Mudryk?
I think there's certainly a question to be asked, but he got some of the ball, Mudryk, so if the referee has seen that, you can see why he's let play continue.
It's the last thing that David Moyes will want after being, he felt, robbed of a point when they were at Stamford Bridge because of a decision that didn't go their way. I don't think that VAR would have gone back and looked at that, because it was not a clear and obvious error.
No. I'd be more worried if I was David Moyes about my defence and getting hold of João Felix at the moment, whether it's the midfield or one of the defenders. You know, you've got to spot that run. You've got to already be thinking about where is he. I wouldn't mind, but there's 3 of you against Havertz. There's got to be one of you that goes, right, you know, who's got Felix, and no one even saw.
Well, Chelsea lead by a goal to 0 where West Ham United, courtesy of a goal from João Felix, who was brought in at high cost. Not even Wonga used to charge that much for their loans, but £11 million loan fee. That was a healthy investment, and he started to repay that after spending 3 games on the bench. Here's Jared Bowen into the penalty area at the other end, though, dispossessing on the edge of the box. And Enzo Fernandez mops up for Chelsea and takes the ball out towards the far side, the right, before he can get a shot away. Up to Havertz, the ball goes with his ball back towards the centre circle. Ruben Loftus-Cheek pokes it down the right-hand side. It's cut out by Ben Rama, and it's turned over by West Ham, who now attack the right flank. Here on the right side is Jared Bowen, who seems to be okay. Sends a cross in, which is blocked by Kukureya, and then Souček feathers the ball back into the path of Thilo Kehrer. The German plays it down the right for Foul, whose cross goes out of play, then comes back in again. The referee's going to allow play on anyway because they weren't entirely sure about it, and it's in the arms of Kepa Arrizabalaga. West Ham 0, Chelsea 1, Talksport. 19 minutes played, and there is a grumpy, Grinch-like look on the face of David Moyes.
Yeah, we've seen that too often, haven't we, this season from David Moyes. And defensively, it's been a problem this season. I always thought the last 2 seasons they've looked so defensively strong, hard to break down. Only Southampton have have had less clean sheets than West Ham this season. It's a real issue, and with not scoring goals at the other end, it all of a sudden feels like a tough task, but they've got to be more positive.
Ball on the right-hand side. It's collected by Jared Bowen. He's crunched into by Enzo Fernandez as he goes out on that right, tries to tickle down the touchline, but Enzo Fernandez is having none of it and puts it out of play on this near side. It's a throw in by Foul in towards Antonio, holds it up well, tries to nudge it back into a central area, headed away from the penalty spot, comes back to Declan Rice, encouraged to shoot. Ruben Loftus-Cheek got out to him to try and block any attempted effort. He couldn't get the ball down quick enough, Declan Rice, to get the shot away, and it's cleared out towards the far side. 20 gone, 1-0 to Chelsea.
Didn't make the most of that. It was a great position that Antonio had. The ball thrown into his chest just on the corner of the 6-yard box. There's got to be better movement around him. Somebody's got to be giving him an option just to lay that off for an attempt on goal. There was nothing there.
Chelsea have started much the better, and they lead as a result of João Felix's goal after 17 minutes. The ball up towards the midpoint of the West Ham half. João Felix, the goal scorer, touches it back into midfield. It's given straight to Reece James, and James plays the ball out towards the right-hand side, where it's collected by Modueke, who runs across the 18-yard line and does that cut in on his left foot and tries to strike. It's blocked this time by Agard and goes out towards the far touchline. Anyone who's watched just these clips on YouTube will know that's exactly what Modueke does every time he gets the ball, goes down that right side, tries to come in.
That made me flinch a little bit. Just Emerson, how easy that was for Modueke, just to one little shimmy and he was absolutely away from Emerson.
He's got snake hips. It's all right knowing what he's going to do. It's another thing stopping it. Yeah. Here is Badiashile with bright pink boots on into Kukureya, across to Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva just motors forward, plays it out to Reece James. I must admit, saying all the names as the ball's being passed around by Chelsea, it does almost feel like it isn't really Chelsea, because there's so many new faces, isn't there? Here is Reece James. Well, he's been there for a little while. And Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's been there for ages, plays the ball back infield to Badiashile, out to the wide left, and Mudryk, £89 million acquisition, plays a lovely ball into Havertz. Goalkeeper comes out, not going to get there. Havertz, as he rounds him, taps it home, and then the offside flag goes up against him, and another Chelsea goal is chalked off.
Well, it's too easy for Chelsea. They just play that into midfield, and then the runners, the back three, just aren't in communication. The gap between Thilo Kehrer and Ogbonna, and I don't know where Ogbonna's going. He's going towards João Felix. That's taken his eye. Havertz then makes that run in behind. And does he time it right? No. Not too sure. I think because Ogbonna goes out to João Felix, that then plays Havertz.
Well, it has gone to a proper VAR check. So they are going to get the lines out, and they are going to measure the distances.
Well, it'll just be a guard. Is he still behind.
I mean, it looked
O'Connor as he steps out.
With the naked eye, it looked as if it was just slightly offside the pictures that we've seen, and that seems to be the case. Yes, no goal is the decision. Offside against Kai Havertz. You're listening to West Ham 0, Chelsea 1 on Talksport with Now Sports, and don't forget, with Now Sports you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Bournemouth versus Chelsea live today for $11.99. No contract, search Now Sports. There is a flock of pigeons that have taken up residence in Kepa Arrizabalaga's penalty area away to our right-hand side. They must know about him. Beating the offside trap this time. Havertz gets the ball into the penalty area, tries to get a shot away. It's blocked by Agüero, who did well, and the offside flag is up again. Another ball down that left-hand side, but the offside trap may be working well here.
Well, I
he's not
guess
offside.
I mean,
he's not
so
offside
foul
this
is
time.
It's the way he leans, maybe just Kai Havertz. He didn't carry on and score anyway, so it won't matter, but it's going to make the crowd edgy, isn't it? Just one ball over the top and it looks as if players are getting in. If that's the way that they've looked to play and catch Chelsea offside, then that's one thing, but at the moment they don't really look like they're organised as if that is the case.
This is how much the West Ham haven't been in the penalty area. Those birds, 7 of them, have started to build a nest, I think, inside that 18-yard box away to our right. You know that he used to keep finches, Kepa Arrizabalaga. So he knows how to look after birds. True story. Here's João Felix down the left-hand side. Tries to poke it into the 18-yard box at the other end. Goalkeeper comes out, collects it and bowls it out. I mean, this is a performance which is going to cause a little bit of ire amongst the West Ham fans, because they're getting none of the ball, doing nothing with it when they get up the pitch, and Chelsea are finding it too easy to counter-attack upon them. Ball down the right, disrupting the pigeons is Bowen. Into the penalty area he goes, gets it in towards Antonio. A little flick, great save by the reactions of Kepa Arrizabalaga, and it's spilt behind eventually off Antonio and out for a goal kick. That's a bit better.
It is really good for him, Jared Bowen, just running off the back of Cucurella and then looking just to play it into Antonio. Flicks it Cruyff-like into the chest of Kepa Arrizabalaga, who doesn't have to do a lot. It just hits him in the chest, and then it was just a fraction away from Antonio on the follow-up.
25 minutes gone, and the ball is cleared upfield by Arrizabalaga. West Ham have it back, and it's with Declan Rice. And the ball played across the back four into the path of Thilo Kehrer. Kehrer motions forward, gets up towards the halfway point, gives it to Vlad Sofau, who tries to run down the touchline. He's being watched by Mudryk, the Ukrainian, who's got his hair pinned back by a little Alice band. Onto Souček, hits the chest of Cucurella and goes out for the first corner of the game to West Ham United. 1-0 Chelsea.
And it's down this right-hand side for West Ham. Aspetta's from Sofau. Because you've got a back three again as a wing-back, you've got to get yourself forward. Make Mudryk think that he's got to come and defend, and is he willing to do that? And if not, 2v1 against Cucurella.
Bowen and Sofau standing over the corner kick. He's in towards the near post, and across came Thilo Kehrer and tried to get on the end of that. Didn't quite manage to get a clean header on it. It hit his back, I think, and then popped behind and out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. But there was certainly near post pressure there from West Ham.
And it just, in the end, the body's in front of him. He just shied away from the header and was too worried then about the collision he was about to have.
We're just getting those drawings of the lines to show us why Kai Havertz's goal was ruled out. It was narrowly offside. And as a result of that, it's just 1-0 to Chelsea here, but they've been the dominant force, but they've maybe not put the game to bed, which they could have done, Dean, with those two chances if they'd just held their runs a little bit better. As a result of that, maybe they've invited West Ham back into the game now. Here's Sofau down the right side after Chelsea trying to play out from the back. Actually don't do it very well. Cucurella giving the ball away. And now Sofau's got loads of space on the right-hand side to get a cross in. Towards Bowen. Shot towards the far post. Coming in the far post was Emerson Palmieri. He finishes it off, and the former Chelsea player has equalised for West Ham United. Good ball into the box from the right-hand side from Sofau. Flicked on by Bowen, who nudged it towards the far post, where arriving late was Palmieri, and Emerson Palmieri had the simple task of popping it past Kepa Arrizabalaga, and it's West Ham 1, Chelsea 1.
And they made the most of this room on this right-hand side. Really, really good ball in from Sofal. And Bowen just finds himself completely free. It's a really, really clever flick from Bowen. He's not trying to score. He knows he can't get the power on that header. So he just glances it towards the back post and he's saying, please, has any one of my teammates gambled at the back post? Emerson had. Easy tap in. Reece James looks to Madueke to say, you have switched off.
He's not just looking at Madueke, he is bellowing at Madueke over on the far side. But I think the problem started, Dean, on this near touchline. Marc Cucurella trying to play out from the back, giving the ball away, affording then Sofal so much room to get the cross in that they could develop that opportunity, create that chance for Bowen.
But also you're then asking the question of Mudryk, of Madueke, to say, are you switched on? Are you willing to do that defensive work? Because if you're not, then we're going to have that freedom against your fullbacks. And I think that's what Reece James was saying to Madueke.
Ball thrown in from the right side as West Ham continue to put the pressure on. Bowen with a shot which is blocked. It comes out towards this near side, and then it dribbles behind and away for a corner kick to West Ham United, who have just in the last 5 minutes or so turned up the temperature a little bit on Chelsea. Nearly half an hour play. West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. Chelsea went in front. João Felix before West Ham equalised. Short corner taken to Sofal. Back to Bowen, who's changing the angle of the attack. Dripped in by Benrahma, headed down by Aguerd, who was coming in on the edge of the 6-yard box. He didn't get a clean header on it, and Chelsea are thankful for that, because he had a free header really as it was clipped into the box. And I think there was a little bit of disappointment from Thiago Silva about the ease at which he managed to get up above 2 Chelsea gold shirts.
But what a good response from West Ham. And they are taking that risk of that back line. Ogbonna now looks as if he's got a grip of at least one of the players, one of the back three, going in tighter to João Felix. And actually, oh,
what a mess. Chelsea playing out from the back into Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Declan Rice snapping at the ankles, and they almost turn the ball over and give it to Antonio inside Chelsea's box. West Ham have given away a free kick over on the far side, which is why they're jeering at the referee, Craig Pawson. But I've got to be completely honest with you. I mean, that was footballing suicide from Chelsea playing out from the back.
Well, it was. You've got to recognise there that West Ham are, ready to press, that are on the edge of the 18-yard line, that Declan Rice is squeezed right up. That you've got to recognise that and go, actually, OK, one pass and then bypass that midfield into your forward line. Instead, you're taking that risk.
Chelsea play the ball over the top towards Havertz again, headed away. It's picked up by João Felix on the edge of the penalty area, takes it off Thilo Kehra's toes, and then Chelsea win it back high up the pitch. And again, it's good work from Havertz, chasing down Declan Rice, who's lost the ball here in the midpoint of the West Ham half. Now Ruben Loftus-Cheek has it, under pressure. Declan Rice there was pressing right up inside Chelsea's penalty area, wasn't he, when he made that attempt to try and win the ball back.
And you just... Obviously, it's taking a risk, but why can't they do that a bit more, West Ham? They've got the energy to do it.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek down the right-hand side, scoops the ball forward after eluding one challenge, and then heads the ball between 2 defenders, controls it, nudges it further wide, didn't find his pass to Cucurella, but he was allowed to travel a long way with the ball, which would be quite concerning. Now they look to break, and Bowen has pumped the ball forward for Benrahma, but the starting position of Arrizabalaga was so good he could travel just outside his 18-yard box and mop up for Chelsea. 1-1, good game.
I can see why, though, at times they sit back, because when they do win it, they look so dangerous. They can spring into a 3v2. Benrahma, Bowen and Antonio against Badiashile and Thiago Silva. So I can see the benefits of it. But at the same time, you can't just sit back all game and invite pressure from a team as talented as this one.
Well, we didn't think it would be a rip-roaring goal fest. Erling Haaland has scored more goals on his own than Chelsea and West Ham have managed as a team this season, and he hasn't even been scoring very recently. But we've had 2 goals already in the match. It's 1-1 between West Ham and Chelsea. Live on Talksport. And remember, later on today, Leicester-Tottenham is on Talksport 2, and Around the Grounds with Adrian Durham zipping up and down the country is available here on Talksport. Monday, Adrian and I and Danny Murphy and Kevin Campbell will be at the Merseyside derby. Liverpool against Everton. Everton under Sean Dyche going across Stanley Park. They've only won there once since 1999 when Kevin scored the winning goal, and that was during lockdown. Ball hooked out of play over on the far side by Emerson, who scored the equalising goal on Talksport. For West Ham United, who've come back from a goal down to level things at the London Stadium. The ball now with Chelsea in the midpoint of the West Ham half, and it's Enzo Fernandez out to Cucurella. Chelsea started the game so well, buzzing around and passing the ball slickly. Just caught on their toes by that goal, and now have got to respond themselves. James into the centre looking for Madueke, who cuts in left-footed, drives the ball towards the far post, stopped by Fabianski, back in by João Felix, only half cleared. It's Mudryk on a little Cruyff turn, then tries to take on another defender in Sofal down the left-hand side, gives it to João Felix, he's crossed towards the back post, it's just over the head of Madueke, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. But you get the feeling, and this hasn't always been the case with Chelsea, that they will create chances today.
I think if you do sit back against this Chelsea side, you can see in Madueke and Mudryk and even João Felix, they've actually got the pace, the skill to just drift past players, and that's what Madueke did there, just cutting in on that left foot. It's a really good save from Fabianski down to his right hand side. Nice firm wrist.
That was a trademark Madueke effort, and a very, very good stop from a goalkeeper who came under a little bit of pressure, I think, recently. Oh, mistake by Thiago Silva, and Benrahma has got in behind him. He's running into the penalty area, and Thiago Silva, 38 years of age, gallops up behind him and dives in and nudges the ball behind. A brilliant piece of defending from an excellent, experienced defender.
Well, he was naive to think that he could win that ball in front of Antonio to start with, and then when the ball got played over the top of him in a foot race with Benrahma, he's lucky it wasn't Antonio, because Antonio would have been away.
Cross into the box, aimed towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and Thilo Kehrer. Oh, mistake by Bowen, and it's allowed Mudryk to gallop forward, and it's him against Sofal, and he's got support from Madueke, and he's got support from Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez arrives, and he's snuffed out by Declan Rice. Wins it back again. Felix into the box. Madueke trying to bring it down. Pops off his chest into the air, and he's taken into the arms by Fabianski. What a chance for a Chelsea counter-attack.
Oh, I know, what a mistake from Bowen. He thought that Souček was going to come and collect it. He didn't. Mudryk then was on, and it was 3 against 3 that became 4 against 3, and he picked the right pass. He just couldn't quite control it in the manner that he wanted to, Fernandez, and then the chance was gone.
36 gone. It has been end-to-end stuff. It's been great entertainment so far here at the London Stadium, live on Talksport. And there's more great entertainment throughout the week as we wake you up with Alan Brazil every single morning from 6 o'clock. And there's more great entertainment tomorrow, actually. Graham Norton back on Virgin Radio at 9:30 tomorrow morning. And every single weekend on Virgin Radio, if you want to listen to that, you can download the Virgin Radio app. You can also listen to it on DAB Digital Radio. This is Talksport. West Ham 1, Chelsea 1, 37 gone. Floodlights on a gloomy day in East London. Chelsea trying to flex their attacking muscles, their retoored armoury, trying to put West Ham to the sword, but they're a plucky group and they've got character now, West Ham United. They came back from a goal down against Newcastle last week, and they've done the same today. 37 gone. João Felix wandering into position, gets the ball on the edge of the box, cuts in, left-footed, tries a shot. It takes a deflection off the defender and then pops up. Then the offside flag goes up against Havertz, who strayed again, and it's going to be a free kick to West Ham on the edge of the penalty area.
He has been superb, João Felix, so comfortable in possession. He's been really bright in terms of his combination play once he's got the ball. Really, really impressed with him so far. I mean, they've totally controlled the game, Chelsea, really. 72% possession, but there's just been these bursts of life, haven't there, from West Ham, and that is what they're like. They'll soak up pressure and then they'll just really burst to life with a counter-attack and be really dangerous.
Currently West Ham 1, Chelsea 1, and for the latest odds you can head to Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get West Ham to win the game at 3-1, the draw 7-4, and Chelsea to win the game is 23 to 20. That's all thanks to Betfair, 18 plus, begambleaware.org. This is Talksport. West Ham United, who haven't really enjoyed their recent capital clashes. They've lost 8 of their last 10 most recent Premier League London derbies, only beating Fulham during that time. They're on the attack now with Soufal. They've won a couple of extra yards down the touchline after his first throw-in was nudged out of play by Cucurella. And he's just turning around and asking the cameraman to back off a little bit, fella, because I need to get some range in before I launch this torpedo into the box. And he does that deep towards Souček, who heads it on. It drops for Thiago Silva, who heads it away. Souček keeps it alive. It's away by James, who thrashes the ball into the air. It drops on the head of Kilo Terra, and it's picked up by Fernandes, who immediately releases Havertz. And now there's a break on for Chelsea. João Felix running through the centre. He's got Mudryk in support. He's still going. He's brought down 5 yards outside the box, wins a free kick. Soufal is complaining. The referee, Craig Pawson, was very quickly on the scene.
I'm not sure about that. I am not sure about that. I thought Souček just read this from João Felix, cut across. Might have just used the arm. Would probably be the case. Too strong for João Felix. Obviously a mismatch physically there. And that arm across from Souček did enough.
Quite a big arm, isn't it? I wouldn't have liked that in my back, Dean. 6 minutes to go before half-time, and it's a little bit closer than 5 yards from the edge of the penalty area. It's about 3.5, and it is left of centre, this, so it favours a right footer. What would you do, and who do you fancy?
Well, usually in these situations, as Reece James walks away, you've had your chance. It's second in line, and João Felix is the one that's caressing the ball, twisting and turning it into the perfect position.
Yeah, he's placed that ball down and he's moved it into a position where I think he's trying to hit the sort of the valve of the ball. West Ham have lined up what looks like a very badly constructed wall at the moment, because there seems to be a lot of gaps in it. They might tighten that up before he eventually strikes it. Havertz is standing there as well. He would take this left-footed, but it's going to be the right foot of Felix towards the far post, pushed away by Fabianski, and he had to dive to his left in order to turn it round the post and out for a corner.
Yeah, it was a comfortable save from Fabianski. It was his side, and he didn't take a big step to his right, so he saw it all the way, but just didn't want to take any chance.
1-1, 41 minutes on the clock. And the corner for Chelsea. Madueke has gone out to take it, and then João Felix has joined him. The Chelsea group inside the area includes James, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Badiashile, Havertz and Thiago Silva. Enzo Fernandez at the far post watching Declan Rice. The ball is towards the middle of the goal, and it's headed by Badiashile over the top of the crossbar. What a chance. Big chance.
Yeah, he's such a big presence in there, Badiashile, and he gets up. Bono does brilliantly, just does enough. He kind of shoves his back into Badiashile as he's trying to head that in. I think that just does enough to mean he doesn't get a crisp header on it. It comes off his shoulder.
West Ham trying to get up the pitch and try and cause Chelsea a little bit of trouble, because Chelsea have been at the other end for a little while, but Soufal's cross into the box after getting better than Cucurella wasn't the best of deliveries, and Chelsea are easily able to get it out into midfield, and it's given to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, then Madueke, and then Enzo Fernandez as we approach half-time in the first Premier League game of the day, the clash of the day, the big London derby. Havertz, flag stayed down as he's moved down the right-hand side. Madueke back to Havertz. João Felix is in the box. Now it's Cucurella, about 10 yards short of the penalty area away to our left. They go backwards rather than forwards, Chelsea, after patiently holding on to possession. And very smartly, Ruben Loftus-Cheek sees it back to Benoit Badiashile, who they bought in from Monaco. Played a lot in the back three at Monaco this season. He's got a 7.5-year contract at Chelsea. He's 21 years of age. He's keeping Kalidou Koulibaly out of the team at the moment. Here is Enzo Fernandez after Havertz felt he was fouled. Mudryk has gone down on the near touchline. He thought he was clattered as well. Enzo Fernandez pushes the ball through to Madueke. He sends it wide onto James. James into the area taking on Emerson. Moves into the box. A right-footed cross which is headed away by Aguerd. Rice goes in with a challenge on his England teammate. James, who wins that ahead of Declan Rice, and now it's Enzo Fernandez, short of the penalty area. Mudryk is back on his feet, but João Felix has missed control, and Bowen might escape here. He moves out towards the right wing position, clips the ball forward. Antonio chests it down, tries to take it wide. Cucurella is right up behind him and snaffles the ball away for a throw-in.
No, there's not many better than Antonio when that ball's played up that's going to win you something. Get hold of it, fend defenders off, and when your team are throwing, at least just a slight breather. Brilliant centre-forward play.
Couple of minutes to go before the end of the first half, and Chelsea, I think, well, there will be quite an extensive amount of added time, I would have thought, because of the Paquetá incident, so we might have a few more minutes to go before.
Hope so. It's been brilliant.
This one is called half-time. Yeah, it has been a cracking first 45 minutes, full of energy, full of incident, and actually quite a lot of chances for two teams that don't score too many goals, and we've had two already.
Well, I think, when that bit of pressure maybe eases just with a couple of results, it can just relax the players a bit to be a bit freer and take a few more risks. I think we've seen that from both sides, certainly.
Well, Bonner under pressure from Havertz, nudges the ball to the left, and Aguerd, it's on to Fabianski, and he clips it wide out towards the right. Cucurella goes up with Sofao, but they both miss the ball. It goes out for a Chelsea throw. Sofao won't give it back to Cucurella. David Moyes is bellowing at the assistant on this near side. He's suggesting that maybe one of those very long curly follicles of Cucurella touched the ball before it went out of play. Not sure that it did. It's quite some impressive hair, that, isn't it?
Oh, I'm envious, don't worry.
Here is Arrizabalaga into Badiashile. He then sends it on to Cucurella, who draws a foul from Sofao. I think still frustrated about the throw-in that didn't go his way. It's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, just too quick. Cucurella there just flicked it through the legs of Sofao, who was totally committed. Let's just say that. It's been a good battle, that one. Sofao against Cucurella, because Mudryk's basically not helping.
Are you suggesting that he is more interested in attacking than defending, the
yes.
£88 million left winger?
But that might be the case. That could be the risk you try and take, so that then you're overloading the opposition.
Well, the two highest players for Chelsea at the moment are Noni Madueke on the right-hand side and Mudryk on the left-hand side, and Havertz and Felix are the ones that are dropping slightly deeper into the midfield positions. 4 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Ball out of play over on the far side. It's a West Ham United throw now. A little bit of frustration amongst the West Ham crowd about the amount of decisions that have gone against them in recent times. Chelsea's form really outrageous away from home. 7 games without a win in all competitions. Their worst form on the road since January 2001. And they managed just 9 goals in their last 11 away games. So, it's remarkable really when you bear in mind that last season they couldn't stop scoring away from home. They equalled a Premier League record for the number of goals they scored on the road.
Yeah, such a difference. But again, confidence, injuries.
A striker.
A striker, yeah.
West Ham have the ball far side, and it's played in towards the near touchline, and now Antonio pops it towards Bowen. It wasn't a great ball in, cut out by Badiashile and helped up over the halfway line. Bonner's going to reach that. Havertz is going to give him some attention, and then as soon as Havertz challenged for the ball, the flag went up over on the far side. It didn't even really make that much of a challenge for it, did he?
No. But then again, we are 13 miles away from it.
That is true. It's one of those grounds where you do need the big monocle to get over to the far side. I've got one of those in the bag, actually. I might bring it out for the second half. It's always a bit weird when they go through your bag when you go through security to come into it, and they go, and what is this spy tool for? Honestly, it's just football. And the pigeons, obviously. Here's Enzo Fernandez. They've taken up route somewhere else, and the ball has been kicked out by Enzo Fernandez, and Bowen has got back towards the edge of the penalty area, but Fernandez has gone, you ain't going that far, and they ain't going to do me twice. I've won it back, and here's Cucurella to kick the ball over the halfway line. Havertz chasing with Bonner, beats Bonner to the ball, but Bonner timed it perfectly. He sat off Havertz, waited for him to nudge it down the touchline, and then headed it out and play on this near side. Chelsea quickly throw the ball in. couple of steps inside opposition territory. Enzo Fernandez takes over now. James has come forward from right back. It's out towards the right side though. Madueke into James. Madueke's gone on, but Loftus-Cheek is joining the attacking thrust for Chelsea. Fernandez sweeps it wide towards the left. We're into the third of 4 added minutes at the end of the first half. Now Ruben Loftus-Cheek has it into Havertz, a little flick onto João Felix, dispossessed by Aguerd. And it's a good challenge that by Thiago Silva as Chelsea push it forward again. Cleared high into the afternoon sky, up towards Antonio by West Ham. On the edge of the centre circle, Badiashile wins it back into Ruben Loftus-Cheek, but every ball is fiercely contested. It is a proper derby.
Yeah, it's been fantastic this first half, and Chelsea, I mean, they have dominated. They've looked so bright in that final third. The combination, you can see Havertz is enjoying having João Felix in and around him just to play little flicks to.
Here is Madueke, who is leading the Chelsea charge once again. A left-footed ball towards the far post, which takes a deflection on its way through, headed away by Sofao, further cleared by Souček, and then into midfield for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. They should be blowing the whistle any time now for half-time. 1-1 the score. It's with Enzo Fernandez. Might be the last Chelsea attack of this first 45. On to James. James travels down the right touchline. He's midway inside opposition territory. Goes back to Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez comes centrally to Badiashile. The referee just checks his watch on his left wrist before it's stripped over towards Havertz, who's got in behind the defender. Kept it under control. Madueke's got it right side. He's a bit further out now. Tries to get into the box. It goes out for a corner. Are they going to have time to take it? I'm not sure they are they? Are they? The referee's going to let them take it, I think.
Looks like it. He's been good as well, hasn't he, Madueke, on that right-hand side. He's looked really lively, been really positive. Emerson has probably felt like he's had a tough half, but he knows that he maybe can't defend as well as he attacks. Madueke.
Corner out on the far side, taken by João Felix, straight into the centre, attacked by Badiashile again, and that is the last action as it pops off and goes out on this near side of a first half which has been terrific to watch. A great London derby. The scoring opened by João Felix after 17 minutes to put Chelsea in front. At that point, it looked like they were going to run away with it because they had 2 other goals scored by Kai Havertz that were disallowed by the offside flag. But after 28 minutes, an equaliser from Emerson was well crafted from the right-hand side. He stole it at the back post to make it at the break. West Ham 1, Chelsea 1.
Sam Matterface, thank you very much. Chelsea already in the dressing room. West Ham just heading down there now. As you say, as Sam Matterface just said there, what an entertaining first half. It's been brilliant to watch from up here, from our vantage point up in the gantry. And as far as loanees go, João Felix is looking like a pretty exciting one, isn't he?
I mean, he's basically come back where he left off against Fulham. He's been so bright. He's picked up brilliant positions. He's constantly checking the shoulder. Where's the 3 centre-backs? Where's the midfield just in front of me? And he's caused so many problems. And one of the goals that was disallowed was simply because of his movement. Ogbonna thinks, I need to go out to João Felix. He then leaves that gap for Havertz to run into. He's played such a key role so far for Chelsea, and he's basically changed the way they look going forward, and they've looked so much more dangerous with him in the side. Yeah,
they really have, haven't they? But of course they did concede, which shows just how shaky they can be at the back, with other players, as Sam said in commentary, not really looking like they want to defend. So it's really set up for an intriguing second half. Really looking forward to that one. It's coming up after this.
Game day exclusive on Talksport with Now Sports. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Bournemouth versus Newcastle live today for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports 18+. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a treehouse in the garden.
I'm living my perfect childhood.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Bing bong. Attentions please. Attentions please. We got big new news. Just Eat now does grocery delivery. No problemo if you forgot the only thing you went in the shop to buy. Want ice cream for breakfast? Caught the cat licking the butter. So, don't cry over spilt milk. Get it delivered to your door from Just Eat instead. Grocery delivery. We got it.
Did somebody say Just Eat?
Only available from participating stores and selected locations. Product subject to availability. Service charge may apply. See justeat.co.uk for more details.
In sport, what's just as important as the goals, the glory, the roar of the crowd? Yes, it's the half-time break. Time for a breather, a reset, to keep everything on track. In sports betting, Betfair's safer gambling tools help you do that too. Like timeouts, so you take that all-important half-time break. Or deposit limits, to help you keep count. Manage your play at safergambling.betfair.com. Simple ways to stay on top of your game with Betfair.
18 plus begambleaware.org.
We got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade goes.
At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've got real deals and a wide range of trade quality building products. In February, we've got 8mm V-Groove Vario laminate flooring for only £7.95 per square metre ex-VAT. Now that's a real deal. Find even more real deals at Selco Builders Warehouse and online at selcobw.com.
Got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade goes.
That charged at 20%.
What does Asahi Super Dry taste like? Crisp, refreshing and always super dry. A taste as unexpected and surprising as modern Japan. That's right, Japan's #1 beer. Asahi Super Dry, beyond expected. Go to asahisuperdry.com to verify. Enjoy responsibly. Visit drinkaware.co.uk to find out more.
The new season is here, and The Times on Saturday has all the big interviews, insightful analysis, and stats you need to set you up for a perfect weekend of Premier League action. Subscribe today at thetimes.co.uk/football for provocative and compelling opinions from the best sports writers in the business, including James Gibbrandt, Owen Slott, and the voice of football, Henry Winter.
Lovely bit of football.
Try it free for 1 month at thetimes.co.uk/football. Auto renews at £26 a month unless cancelled. T's and C's apply.
And he's barrelled it straight through the midfield into the Village Hotel Pub and Grill fan zone, the home of big screen live football. A long volley over the stadium seats by the giant screens into the left-hand corner of the bar, past a winning lineup of ice-cold beers and a magnificent menu of mouth-watering footy food. Result! Enjoy the perfect big match experience with food, drink and live football at a Village Hotel Pub and Grill fan zone at 33 UK locations. Find your nearest venue and win monthly prizes, including match tickets at villagehotels.com/fanzone. Get in! Conditions apply. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Game day exclusive on Talksport with Car Finance 24/7. Get your finance sorted first, then choose your car. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.
Leave behind the workday blues.
Game day.
Today, exclusive kick-by-kick commentary of Leicester versus Spurs. Coverage from 2:30, kick-off 3 p.m.
on Talksport 2.
It's West Ham United.
You are listening to Game Day exclusive on Talksport with me, Reshmin Chowdhury. I'm alongside Dean Ashton and Sam Matterface live from the London Stadium where it is half-time currently. There's also a half-time update to bring you from the WSL. Manchester City are leading Arsenal by 2-0 thanks to goals from Lauren Hemp and Chloe Kelly. Whilst here at the London Stadium, it's West Ham 1, Chelsea 1, which means it's time to get the latest from Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage.
Game Day on Talksport with Betfair. Get a hand from Betfair's popular bet builder and easily add our fan favourite football selections to your bet slip. Terms and conditions apply. See support.betfair.com. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Hello there, Joe Dyer from Betfair. How are the second half odds looking after that first half? And what a first half it was.
Yeah, tremendous entertainment and drama on the Betfair Sportsbook as well. Chelsea went into 4-1 on in play to go on and win the game. West Ham went out to 11-1. The current odds show West Ham at 16-5 for the win. It's 6-5 that Chelsea go on and take all 3 points, and 13-8 that's a draw.
Okay, and what about on Sam's charity bet? Is that looking any good? I mean,
yeah,
he said
it's looking right, isn't it?
Draw, didn't he? Yeah.
He said the draw, so we have 45 minutes to go. Hopefully it will stay at 1-1 for that to come in, or more drama and a bigger scoreline. There's been 0 cards, so that part of it's looking fantastic. And what we got? Jared Bowen for a shot on target. He's had a shot, but not on target.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got a chance, isn't it?
He's got a chance. He's always got a chance if you're Jared Bowen. Joe Dyer from Betfair, thank you so much for that odds update, which is all thanks to Betfair. Returns accurate as of 10 minutes ago. For verification, see betfair.com. Over 18s only. Conditions apply. Go to begambleaware.org.
Game Day on Talksport with Betfair. Get a hand from Betfair's popular bet builder and easily add our fan favourite football selections selections to your bet slip. Terms and conditions apply. See support.betfair.com. 18+ begambleaware.org.
Here comes the question.
Okay, turning our attention to rugby union now. The Six Nations continues, doesn't it? At 2:15, I should say. And it is a huge one as the favourites Ireland host the holders and last year's Grand Slam winners France. And watching for Talksport at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin is David Brady.
Yes, the top two teams in the world rankings going head-to-head in this one in what already looks like a potential title decider. Both began the tournament with away wins last week, albeit in contrasting styles. Ireland 34-10 winners over Wales and Cardiff make just one enforced change at hooker. Ulster's Rob Herring coming in for the injured Dan Sheehan. France left it late in Rome, coming from behind to see off Italy by 29 points to 24. They're unchanged. Ireland have racked up 18 wins from their last 20 test matches. France, though, unbeaten in 14, a run stretching back over a year at this point, and they've won this fixture in each of the last 3 seasons. So something has to give this afternoon. It's overcast but dry in Dublin. The pitch looks in perfect condition. Kick-off 2:15, Ireland versus France at the Aviva Stadium.
Yeah, fascinating one. David Brady, thank you very much for that one. We've also got some cricket updates for you because England's women have started their World T20 campaign. They're in action against the West Indies, and watching for Talksport is Georgie Heath. Georgie.
Good afternoon to you. Just as you come to me, England have had the breakthrough. They've got the wicket of Stefanie Taylor. It is going to review. Earlier on, Taylor was given out for naught, but it was turned over by the review system. So currently, after 6 overs, the West Indies, having won the toss and chosen to bat, are 47 for 1.
Georgie Heath, thank you very much. Now, Talksport Breakfast is, of course, back on Monday morning from 6 a.m. And with Laura Woods over in the States for the Super Bowl, it means it's time for Big Alan Brazil to step up and host for all 5 days.
It's a big week next week for you, Al, as you are back on Talksport Breakfast for all 5 days. Now, when's the last time you've done that?
Oh, I don't know.
So I need you to make a promise to the nation, because you know what you're like when you're in London. You go missing.
Yeah, all right, Joe.
Repeat after me.
I'll get lost.
I, Alan Brazil.
Get lost. I'm not doing this.
Why?
Because I will be there every day.
Do solemnly swear.
Yeah, yes, I solemnly swear.
Solemnly swear to turn up for work for all 5 days next week.
Yes, to turn up for work all 5 days next week.
Well, he said he's going to do it, hasn't he? But will Big Al make the full 5 days? You can find out next week on Talksport Breakfast. Alan Brazil is joined by England legend Stuart Pearce on Monday morning from 6 a.m. until 10. But of course, if music is more your thing, you can tune in to Chris Evans every weekday from 6:30 over on Virgin Radio. Now, from 2:30 today here on Talksport, Adrian Durham will take you around the grounds in the Premier League and the EFL. He is based at the Emirates today to watch the league leaders Arsenal take on Brentford. Adrian, how are you doing?
I didn't hear Alan say he's going to turn up on time. He just said he's going to turn up.
Well, this is key, isn't it? There's so many elements to this, so many moving parts. I'm sure our bosses are watching with eagle eyes, and they'll be very on it, checking their time and their watches as well. Who knows, Adrian? I mean, you know, these things.
What I'll say
could go either way, couldn't they?
6 o'clock is the time to be listening onwards. So to find out if he does turn up.
Exactly.
Somebody we're wondering if they've turned up here is the Brentford players have arrived here at the Emirates. I'm just looking at them now. I've got the old Durham binoculars out. Can't see Ivan Toney anywhere. It might just be that he's not out there on the pitch. He's just in the dressing room or doing other stuff, whatever. But he's not out on the pitch. So we'll await the team news with interest, which we'll get in half an hour.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a huge one for Arsenal, of course. They've maintained that 5-point gap at the top of the table, courtesy of Manchester City losing to Tottenham last weekend. But, of course, Arsenal did have that defeat to Everton. Game day was there last Saturday. It was a really energetic performance from Everton. They found ways to sort of stop Bukayo Saka. They found ways to, show a little bit of aggression and actually get past this Arsenal side and stop them playing the way that they play. So this is a big game for Mikel Arteta and his players, isn't it?
It is, and it was a brilliant show last week. Brilliant display from Everton as well. I'm intrigued by what's going to happen today because Brentford, yes, they won at Manchester City, which shows what they can do, but I would say largely they will feel disappointed with what they've done on the road. Heavy beatings at Newcastle and Villa. Couldn't win at Leeds, Bournemouth and Forest. So they're scoring goals, Brentford, at the moment, and I think they're looking to go 10 unbeaten in the Premier League today. So you can't argue with their form. You can question maybe their away form, But it is big for Arsenal because they've lost the last two, one in the FA Cup and one in the Premier League. But I think City losing at Tottenham has done it. I actually do now firmly believe Arsenal will be champions.
Let me just take a big, deep breath there.
Are you okay?
Upon that news. I don't know, Adrian. I just don't know.
They've got City home and away, and City coming up this Wednesday. I'll be back here for that. So those two are big games. But the way things have been for City, I mean, this news off the field will either galvanise the whole club and have them going and pulling in the same direction, and they'll win every single game, or it'll go completely the other way, and their challenge will disintegrate. But there's been a lot of faded challenges already this season, and Arsenal are benefiting from it. If they finish the season top, which I believe that they will, then they'll deserve to be champions. Nobody can argue with it. And they have been, at times, been utterly brilliant this season, Arsenal.
And I think I'd have to say that they deserve it as well for the way that they've played, for the progress that they've made in the time that Mikel Arteta has been there as well. He's really sort of galvanised the team. As you were saying, that Manchester City, we don't know what the adverse news could do for them, but certainly for Arsenal, every kind of challenge that's come their way, they've overcome it, and they've done it as a unit together, and they're really playing beautiful football as well. Over on Talksport 2, while you're on air, we've got commentary of Leicester against Spurs. You feel that there's a lot of goals in that one.
Do you remember this last season? Leicester were 2-1 up with no time left at all and somehow lost it.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds Spursy, doesn't it? But Tottenham, they don't have Hugo Lloris in goal. Fraser Forster has to step up.
Well,
and no
Romero's
Christian
out
Romero
as well.
either.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think with
big
those,
loss.
I'm not a huge fan of Lloris, but I think he's better than Forster. Romero is good. So that is a big loss. But Tottenham have won the last three without conceding, and maybe that will give the rest of them some confidence. You know, I think against Man City, certain players who shall remain nameless looked way better than they have been for most of their time at Tottenham. So if they keep up that kind of form, then they've got every chance. But Leicester with that big win at Villa last week, the first win since the World Cup, that will give them some confidence as well. I think that's a fascinating game. Saints-Wolves is another amazing game.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that one, because that is a huge one at the bottom of the table. Such big sort of ramifications from that particular one. And for Southampton, for Nathan Jones, and all the comments that have come out this week, he has to get a performance.
Yeah, listen, I'm not sure how much Southampton fans care about how well he did at Luton, or where he's from in Wales, or what he could have done with his life. They don't care. When you're losing games and you're bottom of the table, they don't care. He said it himself, actually. It got kind of hidden away, but he has to get the results to back up his belief in himself. Otherwise, they are going down, and his reputation will be tarnished. He can't just be good at Luton but no good anywhere else. So listen, he's been given a great opportunity. I've got no sympathy for him at all. He's been given a great opportunity. Go on, mate, stop talking about what you could have been and what Wales and all that nonsense. Get on with managing the team, winning games, and keeping Southampton up. Let's see what he's made of. But he was appointed about the same time as Lopetegui, and it's a world of difference between the two since they've arrived.
Yeah, absolutely. They've gone in completely different directions, haven't they? Although in terms of their league positions, they are still both in that relegation dogfight. And as you say, for Southampton, it's not about Nathan Jones, is it? It's about, if you're a Southampton fan, your priority is Premier League survival, and that is what they're looking to do. Still plenty of games to play. Adrian Durham have a great one at the Emirates. It should be a really entertaining game, that one. Adrian Durham is there with Game Day Live at the Emirates as Arsenal take on Brentford. Plenty coming up for you, as we said, over on Talksport 2. We've got live commentary of Leicester against Spurs as well. Here at the London Stadium, the Chelsea players are out for the second half. West Ham are just in the tunnel at the moment, heading out onto the pitch, which means it's almost time for this second half. What do you expect to see in this one, Dean Ashton, who's on co-commentary today?
I'd like to say that, you'd expect more of the same, but I would think that both managers wouldn't want it to be as open as I think that first half was. But I think with West Ham, they give you those bursts of life, and it's almost like once they went behind, that's when they started to press a bit higher and get up the pitch. As soon as they scored, back into their shell again. So it's trying to get that balance of not constantly be sat back. As for Chelsea, I thought they were excellent and probably just want to take those chances and keep themselves on side. I thought they were really good in that first half, and if West Ham sit back, they've got the creativity now with João Felix and the likes to hurt the opposition.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, well, the second half is about to kick off. Chelsea have the lion's share of possession, about 70% possession
in that first half. So West Ham, in that first half, I should say, so West Ham working very hard off the ball in that game. The ball is just being put on the centre circle now, and they're about to kick off. So it's time to hand you back to our commentary team. Dean Ashton is alongside Sam Matterface.
Thanks, Rushmin. Well, West Ham have lost 4 of the past 5 league meetings between them and Chelsea. The exception was the 3-2 victory here last season, which means the Cammers can earn successive Premier League victories against Chelsea for the first time in 20 years should they win here today. But certainly Chelsea were the better team in that first 45 minutes, and if they had finished off those chances or just maybe delayed the runs in the build-up to those 2 disallowed goals, then things might have been very different indeed. Chelsea just got to keep plugging away there where they are. Should West Ham change anything?
I mean, they got their joy when they were higher up the pitch and they pressed Chelsea into mistakes. So why not try and continue to do that? You may take a risk, but I don't think these supporters would mind that. I think they want you to have a go, not just sit back and constantly soak up pressure. That's why they've not created many chances this season, because they've got to travel so far to create them when they do win the ball back.
And they're shooting from right to left in this second half towards the Sir Bobby Moore stand away to our left-hand side, with Fabianski in goal, Thilo Kehrer, Bonner and Egard as the back 3, Soufal, Paquetá, Rice and Emerson, as the ball goes into the box from the right side from a throw-in which bounces twice before it's met by Kepa Arrizabalaga. The rest of the line-up for West Ham: Bowen, Antonio and Benrahma. Paquetá was substituted after just 13 minutes. Souček has come on in his place, and he's got the ball now. Chelsea in all gold, attacking the goal away to our right, have Arrizabalaga in goal, James, Silva, Badiashile, Cucurella the back 4, Loftus-Cheek, Enzo Fernandez the holders in midfield, Felix basically doing whatever he wants behind Kai Havertz leading the line, and Madueke and Mudryk sticking very close to the touchlines left and right. Free kick given against Thilo Kehrer for a little kick out at João Felix, and Chelsea have the ball on halfway.
And you weren't joking. He's got such a lovely role to play, Felix, where he can just drift honestly wherever he wants, and he's constantly now starting to draw one of the centre-backs out. Bonner, it was just there that looked to try and press him when he thought the ball was going into him, and that will allow more space for Kai Havertz to run into.
1-1 on Talksport. Chelsea on the ball. In front of the centre circle is Enzo Fernandez, the £106 million man, most expensive transfer in British football history. On to João Felix, who cost Atletico Madrid £113 million when he moved from Porto. Enzo Fernandez has it now. Back in field it goes. Into James, who's joining that midfield area. One of those fullbacks who likes to come in and join in the play. He did actually play half a season for Wigan in central midfield when he went on loan earlier in his career. Here he is again on the ball, wandering forward. Up to Cucurella, who slaloms up to the midpoint of the West Ham half. Into Enzo Fernandez, who clips it forward, out towards the right, headed away by Emerson Palmieri, given straight back to Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who skates into the box. On the right side is Madueke. Madueke tries to get to the byline this time. Emerson slightly manages to recover, sticks out a left foot, nudges the ball out of play, and it's away for a throw down by the corner flag.
Yeah, they just build up, switch play, and then when it gets to mainly Madueke's been much more productive than Mudryk on the other side. Good job, Emerson stuck to his task that time.
Loftus-Cheek was given a short ball by Reece James, and he was given a glare by Loftus-Cheek as a result of that. On the other side, Cucurella is coming into the box. It's on towards Souček, who isn't given a moment's peace by Mudryk, but he's out of position now, and so is Cucurella, and they're on the attack, West Ham United, down the right-hand side. A good interchange between Soufal and Antonio, but Thiago Silva goes across, nobbles Soufal, nabs the ball and runs away clear for Chelsea. And the West Ham fans wanted a foul, they're not going to get that. Chelsea have it halfway. Madueke dispossessed by Emerson. Declan Rice in centre field didn't have anyone to pass the ball to in a forward position, so he had to go square to Bowen. He then runs down the right channel into the path of Soufal. Bowen wants it again. Antonio's now back on his feet and in the middle, waiting for a delivery. Hasn't quite come yet. Soufal to Bowen and then back out to Declan Rice. And West Ham United just trying to construct an attack. Thilo Kehrer gets away from Havertz, gets to the edge of the box. The two German internationals get involved in a tangle, Havertz emerges with the ball, and the West Ham fans think he should have got a foul that wasn't forthcoming. Mudryk up towards Havertz. He's dispossessed by Souček. Oh dear, a bit scrappy. Kehrer turns it in towards the edge of the penalty area. Antonio waiting for it. Back towards Declan Rice, and then out wide it goes to Emerson. Emerson cuts in field. Madueke shows him in field. And West Ham just patiently building up here.
I mean, they've been getting some joy, haven't they, down the right-hand side. Sofal, in particular, has been the free man for West Ham. And they switch it quickly. He's the one that can then burst forwards.
Souček has just kicked the ball straight out of play. David Moyes is explaining to him in rather industrial language exactly why that's not necessarily ideal. 6 minutes into a second half in which West Ham have got themselves back into the game after trailing for 10 minutes of it. 1-1 is the score. James has it just short of the halfway line. João Felix across to Marc Cucurella. The Spaniard motors into opposition territory, runs up to Souček, and then nudges it out to the Ukrainian Mudryk. Mudryk jinks infield, runs into a bit of vacated space. And the number 10 position at the moment is Havertz, and he's just dropped into that to win the ball back and give it to Loftus-Cheek. Enzo Fernandez, squared up to by Bowen, goes back into midfield, back out to the right it goes again. And then on to Thiago Silva, who motions the ball down the right touchline into the path of James. Lovely cross into the box, missed by Ogbonna. It spoons off his foot, and then when loose inside the 6-yard box of Fabianski had to take charge, he went flying out of his goal to do so, and he grasped the ball into his chest.
His delivery is always just so good, Reece James. He's got a brilliant technique where he doesn't really have to get it out of his feet. He can dig it from underneath and just get that whip still in behind the defence. But where was the movement? João Felix maybe not ready for that as yet. Kai Havertz was there, but it needed that extra player to go and gamble in front of Ogbonna.
Offside flag is up against Saïd Benrahma. We're getting a picture of Todd Bowley, the Chelsea owner, his co-owner Begda Gebali, and the sporting director Paul Winstanley as well, watching on from on high today. 53 gone. Here is João Felix. I think they'll all be pretty happy with the way Chelsea have performed today. But performances are one thing, points are another, and Chelsea do actually need some points, because, I mean, the likelihood of them getting into the Champions League is very slight, I think, but they've got to at least try and get some European football next year, haven't they?
Well, you think, unless it's just the money that'll do it, which, as an ex-player, less said the better, actually.
Well, you're going to reveal your greed there. Ball in towards the 6-yard box. Out comes Fabianski. The corner was taken by João Felix, but it was easily feathered out by Fabianski to the far side. And now there's a counter-attack on, launched towards Bowen. Bowen's ball is intercepted by Mudryk, who did get back and defend this time. Intercepted, wins it back for Chelsea. 1-1 the score. Enzo Fernandez colliding with Bowen on halfway. Again, the ball's given away cheaply. What I meant by that was the prestige of the club, really. They've got to try and be playing some
of course,
semblance of European football.
Of course.
Oh, well, they only... Oh, here's Declan Rice, 25 yards from goal, shooting down towards the goalkeeper's right, but it was always veering wide. It sort of opened up for him there, and he wandered into the half space on that left-hand side, saw that there was no one in front of him, went to shoot, and always looked as if he was going to drag it wide.
And can he improve that side of his game? Can he work on that so that he is a real threat when he's then shooting from outside the area? Because he has got good technique. He looked like he rushed that one a little bit and therefore dragged it to the near post. But just an interesting point, Bowen, that break that they had, you know, a universal groan and fans around are just smacking the chair behind us. He then runs back and wins it back, and the same supporters are up clapping him.
It's a fickle business, this football, isn't it, eh?
But they act as they see it. They were frustrated, but then they appreciate that hard work.
Yeah, I was listening to some West Ham fans this week, and they were suggesting that they are fickle. That's what football fans are. That's what we do. That's why we go and watch it. We're there to be entertained. We want to enjoy the ups and downs. Here's Madueke trying to get hold of the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box. Enzo Fernandez wins it, flips it back into the box. João Felix is lurking with intent. Headed away by Thilo Kehrer, who's done very well there. And It didn't go anywhere near Mudryk and was cleared by the West Ham defence, but only as far as Reece James, who comes back down the right for Chelsea. 55 on the clock, 1-1 the score, live on Talksport. Later on today, we've got live commentary from Leicester against Tottenham on Talksport 2 with Mickey Gray and with Ian Danta. And what a good game that's going to be, Leicester-Tottenham, as Mudryk is fouled over on the far side. Gets a kick on the shins. The referee dishes out the first yellow card of the game to Thilo Kehrer. Or is it Vlad Soufal is given the I think Soufal was the one who fouled him, but I thought it was Kehrer who got the yellow card for mouthing off at him. We'll need confirmation on that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bit unlucky, actually, Soufal, because he reads the touch from Mudryk, but he actually misses it, and it goes through his legs, and then he catches Mudryk with his trailing leg. So he's a little bit unlucky in that he read it, but still another dangerous position for Chelsea.
Well, it is a set piece over on the far side, right on the edge of the 18-yard box. Actually, West Ham have been pretty good at defending set pieces this season, and if you look across the penalty area, you'll probably understand why, because I can tell you that every single outfield member of their team is inside the box. Thiago Silva is providing a distraction right on the edge of the 6-yard box, but he's in an offside position. Loftus-Cheek, Badiashile and Havertz are in there too. João Felix lurking, Enzo Fernandez right on the D with no one around him waiting for a ball back. Maybe Mudryk doing the similar sort of thing. It's going to be James who delivers it. Right-footed, an in-swinger into that congested penalty area. He chips it towards that near post. It's flicked by the defender and it goes behind. It's actually Antonio who got something on it, and actually he was so close to giving that as an own goal. That almost snuck in at the far post.
Well, you know it's a dangerous ball when defensively it's so hard to deal with. And Antonio wants to do his job but gets a flick, and it's only just. Fabianski absolutely rooted to the spot. A couple of inches wide.
West Ham, the only team that haven't conceded a goal from a corner this season, are defending a latest corner, which is well pushed out by the back line, and then Cucurella is pushed all the way to halfway, and that gets a little bit of an energetic response from the crowd in the Trevor booking stand away to our right-hand side. There is a small segment of Chelsea fans away to our right who have made the short journey from West London to East London today in this London derby. Madueke maybe tiring just a little bit, hasn't played a lot of football this season, giving the ball away cheaply on this near side. Thiago Silva having a word with him. We have nearly hit the hour mark. Here's Cucurella. Oh, it's a really good ball into the box. Mudryk's going to get the second bite of the cherry, and he can't control it, as it was half cleared from the initial ball from Cucurella, which was really dangerous, low and hard through the middle of the 18-yard box. From that left-hand side, it came towards Havertz, who didn't react. Then Agard did, and then when he kicked it back across the face of his own goal, Mudryk couldn't control and bring it down.
Didn't need to control. It was there to be volleyed. I don't know why he's feeling the need to control that near the 6-yard line with pressure upon him. It was a really brilliant ball from Cucurella right into a dangerous area. Maybe just a little bit of new club nerves still from Mudryk. It was
rustiness, maybe?
Well, I mean, where you want to take a nice little touch there, he's basically touched it and it's gone out of play by 15 yards. It was come right off the shin pad.
It was a shanker. It's up towards Antonio, but he's bullied out of the ball by combination of Badiashile and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He's gone back to win it back again, though, Antonio, as you would expect from the former Tooting and Mitcham star. Chelsea have won it back through Cucurella from Vlad Soufal on the far side, and now dancing through that centre circle is Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He finds Reece James further out wide now to Noni Madueke. Madueke approaches the defender Agard, goes out towards the near side and then gives it back to James. Didn't fancy his chances against Emerson, actually, and then it goes into midfield, and Enzo Fernandez works it out towards the far touchline. We're around the grounds with Adrian Durham from 2:30 this afternoon as Mudryk tries to play a little delicate ball down the left channel looking for João Felix. It's watched and cleared by West Ham. Bowen manages to get it up the field, but Antonio looks a little bit isolated, and that's the problem with West Ham when they do drop deep. There's only Antonio to aim at,
and that's when you start to hear the groans.
Here's Madueke skating infield past Emerson, but then Havertz didn't really do much to sort of move away from Agard. And West Ham have got it back again. Talksport 1-1. Here is Benrahma flicking the ball forward. Badiashile will just control that deep inside Chelsea territory. Again, it's one of those balls which has to be absolutely perfect to find Bowen.
But that is what West Ham are basically offering, is that one or two passes from winning the ball back to trying to get in on goal, and you've got to do a bit more against the top side. You can't keep just expecting Antonio or Bowen just to be in behind your opposition defence with one pass.
I wonder if Graham Potter is thinking about making a change. Chelsea have just lacked a bit of incision in this second half. They've won a free kick, which is quickly taken. João Felix was found. He's back on his feet again. Loftus-Cheek sends the ball out wide to James. Another good delivery into the box, flicked into the air by Emerson. Wrestling inside the box. Bonner has got Kai Havertz almost gripped round underneath both armpits. The ball's broken to the right. Ruben Loftus-Cheek with a cross, smashed into Emerson. It goes out of play and away for a corner on this near side.
They've worked a really good triangle so far on this right-hand side. Reece James, Loftus-Cheek and Madueke have been excellent in the way they've combined and overloaded that left-hand side for poor Emerson, who's trying to deal with that.
Well, Chelsea are thinking about making a substitution, and they've sent Mason Mount to warm up. Ben Chilwell, Ziyech, Gallagher, Fofana, Pilikueta, Chukwuemeka, Chalobah all on the bench. It's not bad. João Felix in towards the 6-yard box, headed away by Souček, who got there ahead of Kai Havertz, and it's cleared to the halfway line by West Ham United. And Arida Balaga is being pressed by Bowen. He does well to kick clear, and it's kept in by João Felix, who flicks it behind on towards Kai Havertz. It's won by Noni Madueke, and Havertz who challenged Laguerre. The referee says that there was a shoulder into the back of Laguerre, and the free kick is given in West Ham's favour now.
Yeah, just
been a bit bitty, hasn't it, in the second half?
But I said to Reshman at half-time, usually when it's that opening a half of football, managers don't want that. David Moyes has really shored things up, especially for that area. That
cross from Soufal into the box, headed away by Thiago Silva. Cucurella will try and stop it from going for a corner. Soufal's trying to win it back again. He does on that far touchline. Down by the corner flag, he takes it out of play. And it's out for a throw into Chelsea. Looks like there's two changes here. Flynn Downs coming on. And is that Danny Ings about to enter the fray? A different sort of goal-scoring threat coming West Ham United's way.
Well, I mean, they can obviously revert back to that formation that has worked so well over the last couple of seasons. They can go to a back four if they need to. But just going back to the way things have changed in this second half, that space that João Felix was operating in the first half and getting so much joy, that's just gone. It's disintegrated. The gap between Rice, Souček and the back three is so tight.
Yeah. And it's almost like they've got 5 and then a 4 now. And trying to prise open that gap has become very difficult for Chelsea in this second half. It is 63 minutes now on the clock. You're listening to Talksport. West Ham 1, Chelsea 1 on Talksport with Now Sports. Don't forget that with Now Sports you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Bournemouth, Newcastle live today for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports. James accused of handball as he brings the ball out from the sky in the right wing position. The cross is deep towards the far post by Felix, and it's nowhere near Havertz, and grabbed by Fabianski, who will clear.
Yeah, there's just, and I think maybe the changes are because you can sense the anxiety in the ground and more and more groans. I wonder whether he will change the system.
Chelsea are going to change theirs as well. I got the feeling that Ben Chilwell and Mason Mount are about to come on for Chelsea as well. They're going to react to the changes that David Moyes is making. Aguirre gets a little bit lucky. Played the ball against Madueke and then into Antonio, who rolls Badiashile, who gets back at him. Does he commit a foul? I think he does. Yellow card.
Well, clearly Badiashile has not read the Mikel Antonio handbook. Rule number 1: do not try and win the ball in front of Antonio, because he's too strong and he will just roll you. And he does it brilliantly, and he's done it so often for West Ham. Young player, young defender there. Pure naivety.
He does look like a little boy standing next to Antonio, doesn't he? And he's just been taught a very bad lesson. And welcome to the Premier League. 65 on the clock. These changes still haven't been made, by the way. And it looks as if the kit man just handing Ben Chilwell his jersey on this near side. I wonder if Chelsea might change their formation as well slightly. We'll see in the next few minutes as Ings and Flynn Downs prepare to come on. Ben Rama's got a chance to take a free kick from about nearly 30 yards from goal. It's just an inch left of centre, and he is standing over it. Emerson is there as well. It looks like Ben Rama to me. Right-footed, drives the ball through the wall, takes a deflection and does go behind for a corner to West Ham.
I mean, it was always going to be some strike from that distance to beat Kepa, and he's lucky actually, because that would have been dragged wide.
Well, it's a triple change for Chelsea. Mount, Ziyech and Chilwell all coming on. The tried and tested are going to return as the ball goes out towards the far side. The corner comes right in under the goalkeeper, who's made a mess of it. He got his hand just up to manage to touch it clear, but he wasn't completely certain there. Kepa Arrizabalaga back in by Antonio, floated towards the far post. Badiashile with a header clear out towards the far side. Mudryk with a delicate ball onto Havertz, and now they're looking to escape, and Mudryk trying to get beyond Rice, but it wasn't a great ball. But Havertz has won it back again, once, twice. It's fallen towards Enzo Fernandez, and the free kick given against Havertz, and West Ham fans happy about that. The changes are about to be made, and off comes Ben Rama, on comes Flynn Downs, and the other change is Danny Ings, who's coming onto the field of play. I'll tell you the ones that are coming on, and I'll round the rest up later. So Ings and Downs coming on, and the other player coming off for West Ham United is Mikel Antonio, and for Chelsea on comes Ziyech, Chilwell and Mount, and I'll go through the rest in just a moment. Let's head off to the 2 o'clock team news bulletins from around our grounds. We've got live commentary of Leicester Tottenham on Talksport 2, and Leicester unbeaten in 3 games in all competitions, but they are better away from home than they are at the King Power. Ian Danter.
They are, Sam. Only Southampton have a worse home record this season in the Premier League than Leicester, but they've been in good form lately, and they only make one change today from the thumping 4-2 win at Villa. Nampalys Mendy comes in for Tielemans, who has failed a fitness test. James Maddison captains the side. 3 changes for Spurs: a debut for Pedro Porro at right wing back. Lloris is out injured, so Forster comes in for him, and Japhet Tandanga comes in for the suspended Christian Romero. Emerson Royale drops out of the side altogether. It's live at 3 o'clock on Talksport 2. Leicester City against Tottenham Hotspur.
Chelsea made their changes. We'll go off to Joe Shannon. Arsenal need to bounce back from defeat to Everton, but Brentford will be tricky, I think, Joe.
They will, Sam. Arsenal know, though, that another London derby win would take them 8 points clear at the top. They are unchanged today, but Brentford have made 3 changes and switched to a back 5. Rösler, Janelt and Ayer come in. Hickey, Da Silva and Visser all drop to the bench.
Free kick taken by West Ham. You haven't missed anything because of the changes. It's launched back into the penalty area, attacking the goal away to our left. West Ham. Badiashile with a header clear. Chilwell on the far side, trying to win the ball now in advance of Jared Bowen, who gets it, takes it down the right hand side, gets to the byline, produces a cross, looks for Souček, does get a header in. It's only narrowly over the top of the bar.
Yeah, he really was able to dig that cross out, Bowen, with his right foot, and Souček was there, and that's what he needs to do more. He needs to get himself in the box, and arriving late, he just mistimes his jump. He's on his way down as that ball's got to him. Lack of power, lack of direction.
Grudge match at Selhurst Park. Team news comes from Alfie Reynolds.
And Crystal Palace are still without Wilfried Zaha through injury, but it's 2 changes from defeat to Manchester United, with Mateta replacing Edouard and Tompkins making only his 2nd Premier League start of the season in place of Richards. Brighton make 3 changes, with Webster, McAllister and Caicedo replacing Lamptey, Gilmore and Welbeck. It's Palace against Brighton.
Round the grounds from 2:30 here on Talksport, but we're live at the London Stadium, where it's West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. Both teams have rolled the dice. Enzo Fernandez has sent it wide down towards the left. There's space for João Felix through the centre. He's been found. It's in towards Ben Chilwell, who's got beyond the last defender, and he can't finish his chance. And out goes the ball for a corner kick off Fabianski, who got down to his right and wasn't sure of it. He's just the wrong player in the wrong position.
But why? Why are you not shooting, Ben Chilwell? You're through on goal. You're into the penalty area on your left foot, strike it. Why, with the outside of your right foot, are you trying to then put it past the defender to strike? Just hit it.
Corner kick to be taken over on the far side. João Felix will deliver this ball into the near post area. It's aimed towards Badiashile, headed away by Ogbonna, further clear by Declan Rice, and then Mason Mount will chest the ball down and play it back towards Reece James. James into Ziyech. Ziyech down the right side onto Mount. Wants to get the cross in here from the right wing position. He's on the attack for Chelsea, who went in front but pegged back by a goal that was scored by their former player Emerson Palmieri. And they look to try and build an opportunity. Enzo Fernandez from the midfield position out wide to the left, and it's with Ben Chilwell, and then back to halfway. Let's go for Southampton, because if they lose today, Saints will equal a record set in 1947. But Nathan Jones will definitely have a blinding quote afterwards, no matter what happens Ian Abrahams.
He certainly will. He's made 4 changes today, and both new signings start. Onuachu and Sinamana come in for Shea Adams and Edozie. Alcaraz and Maitland-Niles also in the side today. As for Wolves, 1 change. Hwang is out injured, and João Moutinho replaces him. But it's all about Saints here, Sam.
Off to the game at Craven Cottage. Fulham have run into a little bit of a goal-scoring problem. Can they solve it today, Ollie Kling?
Well, they should be able to, Sam. Fulham are unchanged for their last league game, a goalless draw with Chelsea. So Alexander Mitrovic will look to end his run of 5 games without a goal. Meanwhile, there are 2 changes for Forest from their win over Leeds last weekend. Out come Danilo and Williams. In come Aurier and Gustavo Scarpa.
We'll be around our grounds from 2:30 live on Talksport. Over on Talksport 2, Ian Danter and Mickey Gray will bring you live commentary of Leicester against Tottenham. Monday night, we've got the Merseyside derby. Liverpool against Everton. Danny Murphy, Kevin Campbell, Adrian Durham and myself will be based at Anfield from 6 o'clock. We're very much looking forward to that. What a massive game that is. Free kick for West Ham on halfway. Is there going to be a winner in this game, do you think, Dean Ashton?
I think there's every chance. You know, both managers have made changes for that.
Here is Souček into the penalty area, tucks it back for Bowen, tries to find Danny Ings. Good challenge by Reece James, who read the danger and came skating across from right back to snuff it out. Brilliant cover. Here come West Ham again, winning it far side the right into Souček. There was a challenge that involved Bowen. She looked as if he went down inside the area. The referee's played on. Souček into the box looking for Danny Ings, who's trying to get in front of Badiashile. Didn't manage to make contact with the ball, but he did get in front of Badiashile, and that will be a bit of a worry for Chelsea. They're on the back foot here. Badiashile takes charge of a high ball which goes towards the edge of the box, but Ings is causing problems again. Silva has gone to ground. Bowen into the area. James comes across, wants a penalty. Jared Bowen, the referee says no. Cleared away on the right side. Up towards the halfway line. Chested down by Havertz. Ziyech spills it through towards João Felix, who's running it again. And the referee stopped the counter-attack for a head injury. Looks like there's a problem with Jared Bowen's jaw.
Well, Reece James just steps across and he's there first. He's going to put his arm across because that's just the natural way to get your body in the way, and he just catches Jared Bowen on the jaw.
It's currently West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. Doesn't look like there's going to be any review, although David Moyes is asking for one. The latest odds are available on Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get West Ham to win the game at 11-2. The draw is 8-11, and Chelsea's opportunity to win the game is rated at 2-1. It's all thanks to Betfair, 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Different test for Badiashile now, with Danny Ings coming on. It's that movement, it's that sharp movement that he's got. He only needs a chance, and Reece James did brilliantly to step across.
Havertz speeding away down the right for Chelsea as they move into the West Ham half. It's back to Hakim Ziyech, who was on the verge of a transfer to Paris Saint-Germain at 5 minutes to 11 on transfer deadline day. Someone didn't fill in the right paperwork, and then he ends up back here at Chelsea. And he's been involved in the team since then, and certainly he's going to be involved going forward, because he's in the 2 squads that Chelsea had to submit for the end of the season. Thiago Silva playing out into the path of Reece James, who travels infield from the right touchline onto Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez scampers forward at rapid pace. He's got a break down the left in Chilwell, who spots the run of Havertz with a header, diving towards the near post. It's narrowly wide of the goal. It was a brilliant move from Chelsea. A delicious cross from Ben Chilwell on that left-hand side. That's the sort of delivery that Chelsea have been missing with those 2 fullbacks, Chilwell and James, out of the team. It was a lovely ball in towards that near post, and Kai Havertz just couldn't wrap his head around the ball to get it on target.
you're absolutely spot on. I mean, what a difference it makes, doesn't it? When you've got Reece James and Chilwell either side, just the energy, the way they overlap and underlap, and then the delivery as well from both of them. Chilwell this time with a striker's dream of a cross. Havertz did well to get in front of Ogbonna. It was a difficult header, and he would have had to really angle his neck to get that towards goal, and couldn't quite do it with the pressure of Ogbonna.
Yeah, Ogbonna did enough, didn't he? Just enough to use his presence to put Kai Havertz under enough pressure that he couldn't get that in on goal.
Your pigeons are back?
Yeah, they're back. They're not my pigeons, they're Kepa's. And there's more of them now. So there was 7 or 8 in the first half. There is now very much 10. Is it a flock of pigeons? I think it is a flock of pigeons, isn't it? Well, someone will text us in or tweet us in and tell us exactly what the collective noun is for pigeons. Ball is at a player over on the far side. Thrown in by West Ham, midway inside opposition territory. There was a little bump off the ball there. Ben Chilwell tries to get it away, does. Mason Mount turns it round the corner, finds João Felix. Felix loses the ball, and it's picked up now on that right-hand side by Thilo Kehrer, who went bounding into the box, gave it to Jared Bowen. His cross was poor, and now Enzo Fernandez tries to bring it clear. This is Talksport under the slate grey skies of East London, where this game is nicely and finely poised. I've had it confirmed to me that it is a flock of pigeons by the producer back in London, who is a English grammar university graduate, I think.
João Felix has just had to bat one away. He's trying to make his move.
Yeah, the pigeons are influencing play. That'll have the referee in a flap. Ball is out over on the far side. We've got 13 minutes to go. The game hasn't been as entertaining in this second half as it was in the first, by design, by the way. As you mentioned earlier, David Moyes has just tinkered with the approach from West Ham just to clog things up a little bit.
Yeah, he had to. I mean, João Felix was getting too much joy and finding too much space, and he's now having to come deeper. He's not getting that ball and turning and facing the defence.
Here's Ziyech into the penalty area with a cross, headed away by the retreating Declan Rice. One back by Ziyech, and then set back to James, who's crossed into the area, is aimed towards Havertz, flicked away by Ogbonna, drops inside the box. Rice will get it clear. Chelsea trying to keep the pressure on with Loftus-Cheek and Enzo Fernandez. They're in the midpoint of the West Ham half, and actually under real pressure. Loftus-Cheek just about worked it out to Ben Chilwell, but it was good, tenacious tackling in the middle of the park from the West Ham midfield. 13 to go. 1-1 on Talksport. Will there be a winner in this game? Down the right goes James. He's trying to hold off Downs. He plays a lovely ball into Mount. Lovely running towards the near post. He centres the ball. It's cleared away by Fabianski. Comes back to Fernandez. Volleys the ball poorly. Shanks it out for a corner.
Well, it's a brilliant pass from Reece James. Right into the path of Mason Mount, who does well to just wrap his foot around it as he's getting towards the byline, and Fabianski reads it brilliantly. He knows pretty much that's the only place that it can go, and he just steps out of his goal and intercepts, and then as it drops for Enzo Fernandez, he paid back about £1.50 with that effort of a side volley.
Listen, every little bit counts. Off comes Ruben Loftus-Cheek, on comes Conor Gallagher for Chelsea. It looks as if there's a little issue here. Is that Naif Agard who's gone down inside the 18-yard box? I think it is. And he's just getting a bit of treatment. His international colleague Hakim Ziyech goes across to engage with him. Gallagher coming on here, and Chelsea with a few more familiar names now on the team sheet. Remember, Aubameyang not included today. Mount dropped to the bench. No Sterling, who's injured, we think. And now it looks as if Agard, who's had a problem obviously in the early part of the season, seems to have picked up another injury, and he may have to be replaced here.
Yeah, he's just holding his hamstring or groin area as if he knows he's overstretched.
What does Conor Gallagher bring to the Chelsea midfield? He's not as talented as some of the others that are in the ranks, but he gives you absolutely everything, doesn't he?
He does, but it depends where you play him. I think where he's gone and lined up sort of alongside Enzo Fernandez, I don't think you're getting the best out of him in that position. I'd rather see Enzo Fernandez play as a holder on his own, and Gallagher then go and play alongside a Felix as 2/8s.
And we will see how Chelsea reconfigure things as Ben Johnson is prepared to come on for West Ham, who lost Lucas Paquetá to injury in the first half and now have lost Naif Agard to injury as well. He cost 30 million quid, which is a lot of money. I know Chelsea throw it around like it's going out of fashion, but for West Ham a 30 million pound investment is quite significant, and they haven't seen enough of him because of the injuries, and now they've got to rely on a homegrown talent to come in and see out the game. He had to come off the bench actually at half-time in the last match to take the place of Thilo Kehrer. Here's Danny Ings feeding off Souček, who won a header in front of Conor Gallagher. Played out towards the left, and it's Emerson. West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. Declan Rice didn't realise that Havertz was coming behind him, and then Conor Gallagher wins it back in the heart of midfield and then was just unable to keep it in on the near touchline. It goes out for a throw-in.
He's been quiet, hasn't he, Declan Rice, in terms of getting on the ball and looking to drive. He's not done that, and I think maybe that definitely is something that's changed. Is David Moyes has said to him, it's your job when João Felix drops into those positions, it's your job to be on him and stop him.
I know a lot was made of West Ham's first half of the season form. I wonder just how much influence losing someone like Mark Noble in the dressing room has had on Declan Rice since he's come back as sporting director. There has been an uptick in West Ham's sort of energy levels, and listen, he's not in the dressing room anymore, but he's around the place every day just pumping people up, reminding people what's got to be done.
I don't imagine Declan Rice to be a quiet chap around
not at all.
Around the place.
But he's not the only one, is he? I mean, there's a whole group of them that he can't carry that whole leadership burden on his own now.
No.
And there's not enough of those leaders inside that dressing room, especially not ones that have experienced the fabric of West Ham like Mike Noble has. Free kick to West Ham, about 6 yards outside the box on the left-hand side. And he'll be swung in by Emerson, deep towards the far post. And Declan Rice is there. He comes back off the goalkeeper. It's touched in by Souček. And West Ham United lead. Declan Rice is not quiet now. And nor is Thomas Souček. He may just well have won the game for West Ham United. Well, they felt hard done by at the bridge. West Ham wanted revenge today. And they may well get it. Brilliant free kick, great header, half-decent save off the goalkeeper, but Souček was there to pummel in the pieces. 2-1.
I mean, this will definitely be looked at in terms of offside. Declan Rice looks like he could just be ahead of the play, but if not, it's a brilliant ball from Emerson. He gets in front of his defender, Declan Rice. He heads it. It's a wonderful save, by the way, from Kepa, but I think this
is going to be ruled out,
offside.
Isn't it? It's going to be ruled out. He just looks as if he's beyond the last defender, and all of a sudden the crowd have learnt about another VAR call that might well go against them in a big game against Chelsea, as it did back in the summer when they were denied an equaliser after a collision between Mendy and Jarrod Bowen. There is a nervous hush around the stadium as Craig Pawson waits for the lines to be drawn. He is looking over towards this near side. The VAR back in Stockley Park, Neil Swarbrick, who is in charge of the VARs, and the assistant referee Mark Scholes are all trying to work out the coordinates. It looks pretty clear-cut to me.
He looks well offside from the monitor in front of us.
But they are making sure, there is no doubt here. What else are they looking for here? Are they looking for something else? Because they are zooming in with a great deal of intensity. It's taking a very long time, and that's only adding to the tension inside the London Stadium. Graham Potter is nervously watching on as well. He can't believe it. It's offside. It's going to be ruled out.
It's a blow. It's a big blow for West Ham. I mean, you could see the relief on Souček's face. He'd had a tough season, and that could have been a big goal.
Chelsea fans celebrate, and they are gleefully rubbing it in the faces of their opponents. Declan Rice was the man who was just a smidgen offside, but that smidgen was enough to rule out what looked like a winning goal.
I mean, from the pictures we saw, it's the right decision. I don't know why it took them so long, to be honest.
No.
But Declan Rice looked like he'd gone a fraction early.
Was it just to ramp up the tension inside the stadium, do you think? Just to give us a little bit more drama? It was a tight call. It was tighter than Superman's underpants, but it was the right call.
It's not going to help David Moyes' view on it, is it?
The bench have gone over actually to have a word with one of the TV people to have a look at a closer angle. They don't look particularly happy. The ball's been floated out by Chelsea, who have had a reprieve with 5 minutes to go on Talksport. And remember, we've got another live commentary coming up on Talksport 2 with Ian Danter and Mickey Gray. Leicester against Tottenham Hotspur, and that's live at 3 o'clock as we go round the grounds here with Adrian Durham whipping around the country, and the man who literally is a footballing font of knowledge. He will be here at 2:30, bringing you all the goals as they go in. Here is Reece James. We're back all together on Monday night for the Merseyside derby, with Kevin Campbell, the blue, and the red, Danny Murphy, as the ball goes in towards the far post for Chelsea. Ziyech on the right side, flicking it in left-footed. It's helped away, gets a second bite of it. Further away by Ben Johnson this time, and West Ham get it clear to halfway. Of course, what would really ruin the story is if Chelsea got a winner late on in the game. Thiago Silva to João Felix, tries to push it down into the right wing position for James. James is harassed by Flynn Downs, and Downs does really well to get the ball away from him, and then goes down and wins the free kick, which is probably a little bit soft, but it's a free kick to West Ham anyway.
It is soft, but if you go charging into the corner and put your arm into the back of a player, then from the assistant referee's point of view, it's going to be a foul. You just need to hold the position there and try and keep the pressure on West Ham. You've got them hemmed in. You want to keep it that way. You don't want to let them off by giving a soft free kick away.
1-1, 3.5 minutes to go. You're listening to Talksport, and the ball was kicked straight out of play by Fabianski. Statistics have been interesting, haven't they? 72% ball possession for Chelsea, 12 goal attempts to West Ham's 10, 4 attempts on goal, 2 for West Ham. It's been 6 corners to 5 in Chelsea's favour. The statistics give it a sort of gloss of more of an even game. I think Chelsea will feel, especially in that first half, they had the better of it. Yeah. Has been probably more level in the second.
But also, the way West Ham play is they allow you to certainly feel like you've got more of the ball, more control of the game, and then they like to counter-attack.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been a shot on target in this second half. It's, both teams have shored things up, that's for sure.
Both teams have been neutered. Here is James down the right-hand side, in towards the edge of the penalty area, apart from the disallowed goal, of course. Across goes Emerson and clears it away. Quickly, it's thrown in by Ziyech. Ziyech back towards halfway. You're listening to Talk Sport, and it's West Ham 1, Chelsea 1 with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. Here is Badiashile back towards the halfway line, and then all the way to Thiago Silva. And Chelsea just keeping hold of possession. Will there be one last chance in this game? Will there be an opportunity to craft something? Will West Ham pounce on the counter? Well, here's Ben Chilwell, who had a really good chance but didn't take it. Mason Mount trying to break the lines and get in behind the defence. He's done that. He's centred the ball into the area. Havertz is there. It's just a bit beyond him. Conor Gallagher takes over. Left-footed shot. Takes a deflection. Was that handball by Souček? He seemed to go down with his arms in front of his body, and the Chelsea players are screaming.
Well, the Chelsea fans away to our right, every single one of them was up.
Well, look at this.
And it's because as Souček goes down,
it's a handball, isn't it?
It's absolutely a handball.
It's absolutely a handball.
And he knows what he's doing, Thomas Souček.
I mean, how are VAR not looking at that?
Incredible, really. I wonder what David Moyes will say about that, because basically Souček has saved it.
And he's gone down to his left-hand side. Yes, his hand is on the floor, but he's not breaking his fall. He's fingering that ball away.
It's as simple as that.
Well, I'm surprised, and I think Craig Pawson is too. Let's have a look at it again. Gallagher's shot down the left hand.
Oh, he knows. He knows what he's doing. I mean, it's clever, really, from Souček. As he's fallen to the floor, he's handled it and then put his hand down.
Well, West Ham have won a corner at the other end of the ground. And maybe they will get their revenge. You never know. We're going into stoppage time. Talksport. West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. Is there going to be a winner in the game? Corners to be taken over on the far side. Bowen puts his right arm in the air. It's lifted towards the back edge of the penalty area. Souček goes to try and attack it. Comes back out towards the near side, and it's collected by Flynn Downs, who sees it all the way back to the halfway line. And we're into the final second of the game, and we're going to get 5 minutes of added time at the end of the match.
I mean, it's been a great London derby. It's been what you would expect.
It's been fiercely competitive. Here comes Bowen down the right, trying to dance into the box. He goes down under pressure. The pressure was from Chilwell. The referee's going to give the free kick. There was a flag raised over on the far side. Craig Pawson's going to give it in West Ham's favour, but all of the post-match talk will be about whether or not Chelsea should have had a penalty with 4 minutes to go.
Well, again, the questions will be about VAR and the decision-making process. It seems so often, but let's not take away from what has been a fantastic game of football.
No, it's been a great game of football and a brilliant entertainment. And if you're a neutral, I think coming away from this, you'll be absolutely delighted with what you've seen in terms of, it's level. Many people thought that it probably would be, because these two teams at the moment are in a similar sort of vein of form where they're just grinding out results, really, rather than putting 3 points on the board on a regular basis. But there is a chance here for West Ham United in the final few moments of the game, and they have the opportunity.
Play something clever, though. He's so close to the line.
Look at Thilo Kehrer on the near side. It's back towards the edge of the 6-yard box, though. It is too close to the Chelsea defence, and they spring it. There was an opportunity to play that to the edge of the area and someone to smash it goalwards.
Yeah, just something a bit clever with that. You're so close to the touchline and the 18-yard box. Difficult to flick that in and a player to get free.
Well, it's been a game so good that even the pigeons have come to watch, and they've taken root in the London Stadium. And is there going to be a grandstand finish to the game to really cap off what has been a fabulous 90 minutes of entertainment? We're in the 92nd minute of the game, and it is West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. Chelsea will complain that they should have had a penalty. They had 2 goals disallowed for offside. West Ham have had a goal disallowed for the same thing, when this stadium erupted believing that Declan Rice had helped his team construct a goal for Thomas Souček, which they thought was going to win them the game. It hasn't, and as a result of that, we are going into the last few seconds of the game with still this game in the balance. Johnson sends it forward when Chelsea were threatening to clear. Bowen into towards the near post, blocked by Thiago Silva, trying to find Danny Ings, and it goes out on this near side and away for a throw.
So Fowles coming over. He'll launch this one in, I think.
Right, here he goes with his Ben Tozer-like toss into the box. He's going to take a few steps. He's got quite a lot of room to run up here. And West Ham have only committed 4 bodies into the box, which I think may be slightly disappointing for their supporters, who might want a little bit more. Ball is in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed away by Thiago Silva. It'll be headed forward by Souček, but away by Conor Gallagher. Back in by Sofau. It's bobbling around on the edge of the box. Emerson gets hold of it. Away by James. He's hooked it out towards the near touchline, and eventually João Felix will see it go out of play and away for a throw into Chelsea on this near side after Ben Johnson nudges it out on the touchline. Quickly thrown in by Gallagher. Back towards Thiago Silva. We played 48 minutes in the second half, which means we've nearly had 4 minutes of the 5 that have been added on at the end of this 90. A few just starting to drift out down the exit, so there still might be a chance of something developing in this game. Declan Rice winning the ball high up inside opposition territory. He's given it towards Ings. Ings clips it down towards the right, looking for Bowen, and there was a foul on Ben Chilwell, who's gone down. It's a free kick to Chelsea on the edge of their box, and the West Ham fans unhappy about it, Dean.
Well, because he didn't actually make a challenge, Bowen. He just ran behind Ben Chilwell to get the ball. He'd read it, actually, the flight of the ball, quicker than Ben Chilwell, but he clipped his heels. When that happens, you tend to give a free kick away.
Ziyech on the halfway line, up towards Mount. Mount trying to get beyond Johnson, who smuggles it out for another Chelsea throw. 94 minutes have now been played, and Chelsea trying to construct one last chance. Is a draw a fair result at the end of the match?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. I think it's been well contested. They've both had their moments. Yes, Chelsea have dominated possession, but certainly in the second half they've not created anything.
Big couple of weeks for Chelsea coming up. We've got the Dortmund game on Talksport in the week. Southampton, Tottenham, Leeds, Dortmund, Leicester, Everton. All games they would expect to get something from, apart from that Tottenham one, although they usually get something from Tottenham games because that seems to be the way of things and has been for quite a few years. West Ham have got some big games upcoming as well. They've got Tottenham next before they take on Forest and Manchester United in the Cup. And then Brighton and Villa and Man City. It's a big stage of the season, this. And a point, not really enough for either of these two teams, especially not for a team that want to get into the Champions League. And Chelsea are going to struggle to do that if it continues like this. Chelsea drop more points, West Ham starting to pick up one or two more, but bearing in mind the seismic difference in investment, a point is more valuable to West Ham rather than their visitors. Chelsea haven't won on the road since October, and they still have only scored 3 goals in 7 matches. Graham Potter doesn't have a magic wand, but he might need one now if he wants to get Chelsea in the Champions League next season. Thrilling London derby, great entertainment. In the end, no result, it's a draw. West Ham 1, Chelsea 1.
Sam Matterface, thank you very much. Yeah, the atmosphere in the London Stadium has been fantastic during this game, although I have to say some of the Chelsea fans did start to exit when it looked as though Souček had put away Declan Rice's ball, but it didn't happen. Of course, the VAR call was made, and that was one of some significant sort of moments of this game as well. The players still out on the pitch, the West Ham players and Chelsea players. Well, they're greeting each other quite nicely, and with Craig Pawson as well. It was one of those games, Dean Ashton, that was really entertaining to watch. In the end, a point doesn't really do much for either of these sides. Chelsea still in 9th, 9 points off Newcastle in 4th place. For West Ham, for now they go up to 15th, but at the bottom of the table we know how congested that is. It doesn't really mean a thing given that the games are still coming thick and fast, and of course we have key games at the bottom of the table coming up today. Who do you think will be potentially most satisfied, at least with what they put out onto the pitch today?
I mean, David Moyes, I think, will be more pleased because against a side like Chelsea, it is a good point. It is a good point, and you want to keep ticking those points off when you're down there. I think it says a lot about where both sides are, this result, and I think the performances of the two sides. It shows that West Ham have improved over the last few weeks, and they can now mix it with the top sides like the Newcastles and obviously Chelsea today. And Chelsea aren't quite there yet. Yeah. Glimpses in that first half of what they could become in the next few months, and some real bright performances in a Chelsea shirt, but about right, the performance, the result of about where these two teams are.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? And as you say, for Chelsea, what have we sort of learned about them today? We've learned that they've got a very decent bench, and we've learned that they've got some quality players who can be creative going forward. What do you think, Dean?
When they're given space, as West Ham gave them in the first half, they've got brilliant players, super talented players that can cause you problems in João Felix and Madueke and Mudryk and Havertz. But as soon as West Ham close that gap in the second half, then where's that centre forward? Where's that forward that's going to get you, the ugly goals? The ones where Mount puts it across and someone stabs it in. Who's going to be that player? And they looked like they ran out of ideas, I've got to say, in that second half when West Ham made it difficult. So that's they're the questions that Graham Potter has to answer.
Yeah, he certainly does, hasn't he? And he's got an embarrassment of riches in terms of talent, but of course he's got to manage that talent, and this team has to gel. Whoever's on the pitch, there's got to be a defined system in terms of the way that they play. Do you think that we're seeing anything in terms of an identity from this Chelsea side?
I think now we've seen Reece James and Chilwell come back in. You can see what they're going to be like. They're going to be so good in the wide areas. You've got Enzo Fernandez there that can drop in and sit in, and they're going to create chances from those wide areas, and it's then, can the players that are going to be in the box, can you get enough bodies in the box to finish the chances off, because they've got enough quality to do so, and then they should be able to take games away from the opposition, whereas at the moment they can't get away because they can't take their chances.
Yeah. And what do you make finally of that
penalty call that wasn't given.
Well, I can give you a little bit more information on that.
Good.
As I understand it, and I sort of alluded to this during it, the VAR thought that it was an arm going to ground to break the fall, which therefore isn't a handball offence. What's your reaction to that, Dean?
Wow.
Well, I would say correct in the wording that you've just used, but I think I only need to look at that once to know that he knows that he's going to handle the ball and put his arm down. I know that from watching how he does it.
Yeah, Sam just nodding there, because from the wording, it's almost as if Southgate knew that wording.
I knew that was coming, because I've heard them say it before. But I don't think it was breaking his fall, because he was already going to ground.
Yeah. And he knew exactly where the ball was.
And it was the way he sort of dropped his left shoulder to try and tuck it down.
And he was watching the ball.
He was watching the ball.
And this is the thing. And what is more puzzling about that is that it didn't even go to they didn't stop play for a VAR check when it was so clear that this had happened in real time.
But then again, I'll just read you something from the programme notes a little bit earlier on today. Decisions like that one that day often made the difference between winning and losing, and it's got to be hoped that at some time during the rest of the season we can have such a key decision go in our favour.
I thought you would read something like that out, because this is it. Because he did almost get that revenge, wasn't it, that he was looking for, that we talked about right at the top of the show. It didn't go West Ham's way in the dying moments at Stamford Bridge back last year in the reverse fixture. And it has gone their way, and sometimes football is just that, isn't it, Dean Ashton?
Yeah, and it's another good performance for West Ham. It's another point. It's progression from where they have been in the season, and the same for Chelsea. A bit more progression that we've seen from them.
Indeed. OK, we're going to now pick our man of the match with Car Finance 24/7.
Man of the match on Talksport with Car Finance 24/7. Get your finance sorted first, then choose your car. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.
Dean Ashton, who are we going for?
I'm going to go for João Felix, because I just think the real shining quality on show was him. I just thought first half he was so good. He was picking up the fantastic positions, really difficult to defend against. His quality on the ball, his awareness, the touch, the vision, the goal, everything about that performance really, really impressed me. And if he continues in that vein, Chelsea have got a wonderful player there that could be somebody that they look to create the chances for others and take them. For me, he was the standout out of what was lots of star-studded players. He was the one that, for me, I just thought, proper player, real talented player.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because he was so shackled at Atletico Madrid in the terms of the system and what Diego Simeone wanted to do, and it's almost like he's just been a jack in the box and has come here.
Yeah.
And of course, and he was. I mean, he got a red card in his first game and has missed matches as a result of it. But now he's back. It's just. He can express himself in this Chelsea side.
He looked sharp, he looked bright, he looked enthusiastic, he looked like he was enjoying being at Chelsea, and to get the goal, I think, is going to really help his confidence too.
Yeah, indeed. OK, that was our man of the match from today's game with Car Finance 24.